That clip will forever crack me up. And yes, people, we are back live. We are back live on the Sarcasm City TV YouTube channel for another edition of the ManDem United podcast, which is the podcast on the channel dedicated to all things Manchester United. So please keep all your comments, all your questions Manchester United related. As you heard from the OG troops in the clip, as you can see from the title as well, Manchester United are currently sat, people.
We're fucking 15th.
It's on the
We're 15th. We are 15th, sir.
Yes, Manchester United are 15th after their loss to Tottenham Hotspur 1-0. Another defeat for Amorim. More pressure heaped upon him. More criticism of Amorim. More criticism of the players. More criticism of the hierarchy. And just more criticism of everybody involved. But before I continue, make sure you run up the likes, people. Hit the like button on the video. Whether you're watching this live, told people pay the tax, which is hitting the like button. Please make sure you share this out across all the socials as well. At That's Me Flawless, at Sarcasm City TV, at Sarcasm City TV, at That's Me Flawless. That's on Twitter and Instagram. So please retweet and like on Twitter, share from the Instagram, and just as important, make sure you subscribe to the channel Sarcasm City TV and hit the notification bell as well, people. When you do so, make sure you hit that notification bell. Roll to 15k. I know to Warrior J, it's not a solo one, so the rest of the gang will probably pull up. Shout out to Warrior J, he's been kind enough to put some of Ruben Amorim's quotes in the chat as well, so we will get to those quite a lot. Jesus. All right, let me star all of these right now as we speak. Let me star all of these. Damn. Big up to Steve. Big up to Andrew. Says, we deep in the mud sinking. I hear you. Big up to Lucian. Says, yo, big up everyone. Smash the like. Shout out to Ends. Make sure you subscribe to Ends as well. Says, big up every single time, Ends. You know the vibes. Hey, Kaneki, what are you telling me, man? You good?
Let it burn. Let it burn. Let it bomba clap burn. Shout out Usher, bro. Let it burn, bro.
Yeah, that's where you. I know that's been your energy.
Let it burn. Flawless, man.
Talk about it.
15th, bro. It's what? Because the thing is, Tony questioned me about it because he's like, look where Man United are in the league, and I'm still running jokes.
I'm actually renting this clip. We're here, man.
We're fucking 15th.
It's on the
We're 15th. We are 15th, sir.
Yo, sorry, that makes me laugh. Yo.
So he was asking like, you're making fun of Arsenal, and look where you are in the league. And I'm like, Tony, I don't care where we are in the league. What you need to understand is this. I don't think Tony understands how I think, but Don C understands how I think. I want everything to burn. Because if you remember, we were starting to hear the Garnacho revisionism already. Just to let you know, what's his name is now up 21, you know, Faz is up 36-0 right now.
Oh yeah, Faz was right.
Faz is still right. He ain't never gonna be proven wrong, because fuckwits were out here saying, oh, Sancho hasn't done anything in 11 games when Garnacho hasn't done anything in 15. But we go on 36 games without a goal, 36 in 48 without a goal.
I think it's there. 36 and 48.
Mohamed Salah this season is on what? Is it 15 assists? Is it 15 assists?
Before you continue, get your thought. Let me just go to Eddie quick. Eddie, what are you telling me? You good?
Shout out Kaneki. Shout out El Jefe. I've had some time to calm down, so I'm a bit better.
Why are you upset, bro?
Just pissed. Nah, I'd see why, because obviously Eddie White, you was pissed with the players. He was on what you were saying, Kaneki, in regards to because my criticism is going more towards the manager, where you're on the opposite end and saying the players because you're tired of the players, and I hear that. That's why I will not defend anybody, but we'll get into everything anyway. Don't worry about that. Big up to Warrior J. Says these are Amorim's comments. Quite a lot. Says in the end they score, we didn't. That was the big difference in the game. We had a lot of chances, but in the end they scored one and we didn't. The first step is to create situations. We had games where we were around the box and not created situations. This game, we create situations. Where in this game, with two teams not doing well, one goal was always going to make the difference. You start with one idea. We were asking about a long week for so long, and we worked our principles, but day after day, you lose players that change your approach to the game. I could not play the same way with Xerxes as I can with Ahmad. Sometimes you want Bruno to reach the ball in the build-up because he's really good at switching the play. But then you want Bruno also to press, and it's really hard. And when you're changing all the time to get the players to react to the base, it's really hard. 4-4-2 in the low block is harder to play against this team than what we did today. That's my opinion. They are so open and stretch the team. What you see, guys, and what you discuss every week, I also see. I have a lot of problems. My job is so hard here, but I stick to my beliefs. This is all via Sky, by the way. Amorim on United's young players, they will play during the season. We will have games in the Cup and Europe. They will play. I feel it. I think everybody can feel it. We are near the goal. I don't want to change the players when we are near it. You grow and you learn a lot of things. We just need to face it and run away. Today will hurt. It's a tough pain to lose so many games, but then you can change things in a week. Not really saying too much, to be honest.
No, he's not
and
saying.
Yes,
basically,
yes, Jez, I am doing the Barcelona game on the play versus.
Basically, what Amorim is saying is, listen to me. I know what the fuck I'm doing. It might not look like I know what the fuck I'm doing. I know what I'm doing right now. Okay, I'm basically having enough portfolio on every single shit here, so no one can question when anybody gets dropped or when anyone is being kicked out the club. That's basically what he's saying. The young players. He's like, the young players didn't put us in this mess. Some motherfuckers are out here on 300K, and it took them 59 goals. This is an actual stat, mind you. Salah in 24 games in the Premier League has 14 assists. It took Bruno Fernandes 59 Premier League games to hit 14 assists. Like right now, from last season to now, it took Bruno 59 games to hit 14 assists. Bruno is on 300K. All right? Bruno is on 300K. Garnacho missed. Why did we not sell him? The board said they wanted to keep him. Okay, so he's like, okay, this is what you want to keep. All the revisionism that started to happen all of a sudden with Garnacho. Oh, Garnacho is keeping his head down. He deleted his social media. He's focusing on football. He needs to focus on getting the fuck away from Manchester United. That's what he needs to do.
Mad lies in regards to before, like, to get to the actual game. With what Amorim said, he hasn't really said. The only thing that piques my interest is that I've been mentioning, he mentioned here about the youth players saying,
yeah, we're near the goal.
I hope that we see the youth players in the FA Cup and in the Europa League. I hope so. That gives me much more.
Yeah.
That gives me much more hope. But in regards to it and the actual game itself, I said it in my match reaction. I said it on the shows, Unfiltered podcast, said it on the Barbados show with Beijing Reds TV, United Liverpool, said it again today. I'm back again, and I say it on here. I mostly blame that defeat at the hands of the manager.
No, it's his fault.
So the manager,
it's his fault.
Like 95%, I stick on him for that result. You know why? Because you know what these players are. People will talk about Garnacho's miss, woeful miss. And if Kaneki or Eddie or anyone else in the chat wants to criticize the players, I am not going to defend any of the players. Do not get that misunderstood, people, when I say that. What I'm saying is you know what these players are. Look at the way Garnacho has played, and then when you hear the numbers, it backs it up, but you continue to play it. So therefore, it's on you for continuing to play Garnacho. When Garnacho missed, nobody was shocked. There was no surprise. There might have been anger, disappointment, people cursing him, all of the above. I'm with it. But on the broadcast I was watching, and you can go check the watch along, after the miss, it panned to Amorim. And I said, this is your fault. I blame Amorim for that Garnacho miss, like he was the one who put the ball over the bar, because he shouldn't be out there, because we've watched Garnacho miss chances after chance after chance. This is on you. So you can't be in despair when you continue to put him out there. Højlund's the worst striker in the league. The eye test backs it up. The stat test backs it up.
Not in the league. He's not in the league. He's the worst striker in Europe.
Yeah,
he's the worst.
He's
the worst striker in the world. There's somebody right now at Chicago Fire in the MLS that's better than him.
I can only talk on what I see, so he's terrible. We know this. Bruno, we know he's awful. You continue to play him. Delo is also awful. We continue to play him. So that falls on you, big up King, in the cut as well. So that's where I land with that. So that's why I mostly blame him for that. But Eddie, we'll go to you. Thoughts on the game. Your further thoughts. Obviously, we spoke after the game directly.
Yeah, I think I had to think about what that shit was yesterday and how I'm gonna address it, because I pride myself on maintaining principles about how I see life and shit like that, right? So I can't sit here and act like it's okay that this manager is finding new ways to lose matches. I can't sit here and be okay with that. He needs to fix this shit. But again, I think for me, when it comes to this manager, I think the most disappointing thing was I generally thought he would come here and have the balls not to play Bruno. See, for me, this is past. Again, that's why I think a part of me is getting so annoyed with this manager, because I will. This is where I draw the line. This is literally where I draw the line. If another manager comes in here and he plays Bruno or he plays Hoyland, they'll get no backing from me.
Yeah.
I'm at the point now where I understand let me not say I understand, because I think perception is everything. So because I understand doesn't mean that somebody's not understanding what's going on out there. I don't want to get that out there. But for me personally, I don't care what your tactics are. I don't care what your philosophy is. If you continue to play a player like Bruno Fernandes and Rasmus Højlund, I think that's what I'm going through right now.
I'm with you. That's exactly
the
where I'm at.
Disappointment that he can't see or doesn't want to see, or that any manager who comes into this club can't see, that this individual player is the reason we will never be taken seriously. Since 2017, well, let's say 2013, I've seen fans berate players with CVs that only Bruno could dream of having, with talent that only Bruno could dream of having. And continuously, they let him get off the hook, but they have killed and demeaned players at wit's end. Imagine talking about another player on another team struggling, and you employ Alejandro Garnacho, and you employ Dalot, and you employ Rasmus Højlund. Imagine having something to say about another player, and those are the ones in your starting 11. I'm just so tired of the manager conversation. I seriously am.
I get that.
It's not to push back on anything y'all have said about what this manager is doing. I'm just so tired of this shit, man. And again, at this point, I put it in we need to call the priest, call the sisters of any you cats out there, call the sisters at the convent. Let's have an exorcism for this club. At this point, it's the only thing that makes sense. We've gone from manager to manager. We've gone for the upper echelon of managers that this game has ever seen, a la Jose Mourinho. We've gone to the guy who has the experience building up a historic club like an Ajax back to its prominence in Ten Hag. When you look at what we've done, there's not a manager archetype that we haven't tried to tap into to fix the current situation. But what is consistent is that these players do not fit together. They're not good enough. And a lot of them are only here to collect a check. We have no culture in that building. Culture left when Sir Alex Ferguson left. But let's go on a micro level to yesterday's game.
Yeah, cool.
I do not push back against playing the youth. In that same token, though, if they get smacked up and we end up conceding 2 goals because they're running around like chickens that are headless, right? What do we gain from that? After that performance yesterday, I'm with people. I'm telling y'all, do not play any of the senior players. Play the youth. I don't want to see anybody out there who's been here for a long time. But are we going to be okay with the losing?
I'd be much more accepting. Me, can only speak for me personally because I've been an advocate, but I'd be much more accepting of it. Because at least you're trying to fix it.
That's
Same.
That's
Same.
where I'm
I
at.
would agree with that.
Eddie.
Instead of you standing there and doing nothing, you actually try to go for the game.
Yeah, like there's at least it's something different. Because worst case scenario, the youth players we lose. Best case scenario, they do well.
Yeah, that's true. But
that's how I'm looking at it because we know what because my issue is we know what doesn't work. You just mentioned it, Eddie. You don't want anyone out here who's been here for a long time. And why is that? I can speak for you saying this because we know the levels. You said we tired of these conversations about managers. Eddie, we've been working together now, I think, 4 years, 3 years? And we've had the same conversation in regards to things in regards to this club for 3-4 years. So I get why you are saying you're tired in regards to it. And it stems with these players. And let me get to big up Hooks in the chat as well. 1 second. Make sure you lot subscribe to Hooks. Says, hey, bro, LOL, still finishing above man yet. Are you still winning the league, Hooks? Because you told me you win in the league.
I'm saying, man.
I still winning the league. I don't think I said we're finishing above you. That don't sound like me. You might have got me mistaken.
I ain't out here trying to glorify second place, man.
But shout out to Hooks, though. Make sure you lot subscribe. Because Hooks, I saved you because you wanted to bet me on that. And he's like, yo, if we win the league, I wear a rival shirt. If you lot win the league, they wear rival.
No, you should have bet him. There's nothing more. Nothing would have brought us more pleasure than watching some Arsenal fan wearing a Spurs shirt. And to make it better,
I wouldn't do that to him.
To make it better, I would want the number on it to be Harry Kane.
I wouldn't do that to him, man. I'm saying I wouldn't do that to any content creator I'm cool with. I wouldn't do that. But go on, Eddie. Carry on.
Yeah, I'm just. Again,
I started Warrior J. I started.
The play, like the manager, the players, the ownership. When you have a shit pool like this, nobody is above criticism. Nobody is above taking responsibility for the product that we see out there on the pitch. I was just notified because of what I've said through email that I've been let go as INEOS PR. The head of INEOS PR. So I'm actually looking for a job now.
You got one, man. You can incorporate, man.
I'm here too. Yeah, I'm good. I'm laying on my feet. But at this point, I'm pissed to high heaven, bro. Because the worst part about yesterday is that Spurs were absolutely shit. That Spurs team, I don't care who they had in that 11. That's just not a good football team. And the fact that my attackers couldn't do the basics, which we know they can't do, led to us actually losing that match. People talk about Nice all the time and INEOS' ownership. Nice have better attackers than us at this moment. I have all the confidence in the world saying that. They have better striker. They have someone better playing off the left. They have somebody better playing off the right. I would trust their center backs more than I trust our center backs at this point. Let me not say center backs because I still trust DeLitt to an extent, but Harry Maguire. People have wondered why is there such a gaping midfield opening in the middle of the pitch. It's because everybody is pressing up high. And because Harry Maguire is so fucking slow, he does not want to get beat behind. So he stays a bit more deeper. Same thing with DeLitt. In this system, we saw Martinez at his best because at least he has the mobility to press forward and engage himself in attacking areas. Yesterday, we saw none of that. yesterday we saw selfishness on the part of Alejandro Garnacho when it comes to his wingback making overlaps and not passing him the ball. We saw Rasmus Højlund sit there, you look like a complete idiot, with the same dumbass look on his face every time the camera pans to him. Like, what the hell am I supposed to be doing? How about trying to play football? Xerxes, I'll leave alone. The midfielders, Casemiro, again, credit to him because he hasn't been playing and the manager made him play a full 90. That's on the manager. Bruno, again, we will never be serious as a club as long as we employ him in certain situations. Like, it just is what it is. It can't happen. Yeah, and Dallo, the regression has been immense. And I think that's the most damning part. Just to finish up is I judge managers on how well you make players play previous to what they once were. If I have a shit manager and he's getting a shit performance out of those players, the next manager I need to do that. What I need to do at a bare minimum is bring them back to being average. He's on bullshit. I don't know what the hell Dallo's doing out there. I really don't.
Yeah.
I couldn't tell you. So it's a lot to process in this moment right now because we're fucking 15th. And who knows what the end of the season looks like, but right now, if I was to tell you, I honestly think we'd be lucky to stay in this range and not the last team outside of the relegation zone.
Yeah.
Like, that's just where I see us because, again, the manager isn't doing what I feel is necessary for us to win games, which is not play Bruno. And yeah, these players are trash, and we have no signings coming in. So all that combined, here we are.
Yeah, before we continue, hey, you lot run up the lights. Over 50 people in the building. I see you lot. Shout out to Tony in the chat as well. Red Daryl, everyone else. But run up the lights. Scales up to 50 likes, people. Hit that subscribe button. Make sure you subscribe to Sheik's channel, Sheik TV. And links in the title as well. Sheik, we'll go to you next. Thoughts on the game?
Yeah, man, like Eddie said, most of my thoughts as well. Absolutely shit. Like yesterday's game, like I said after the watch along itself, was it makes you question, like, what is the future of this club? Where are we going? What is our direction? We're again a second season in a row. I genuinely can ask all United fans, everyone sitting here on the panel too, if I told you last year that we'd be sitting 15th in February, we all would have laughed on this panel together. We'd have been like, there's no way the next manager comes in and improves all of this for sure.
I would
to a certain extent. 15th though, Kaneki. 15th though. We thought these players are shit. But boy, like games like this, like Spurs, like I'm being respectful to Spurs, right? But at the same time, they're going through their own shit. There's chaos at their own club right now too. All we needed to do was score one goal, and it's their fans. It's turmoil in that stadium, and then it's easy for us to win from that situation, in my opinion. But we can't even do something like that. We can't even turn up against a injury-ridden Spurs team, who are sitting in like 14th or 13th along with us as well. We can't even turn up for them a year in. And I have blame for everyone. Yesterday's game, I have blame for the manager mostly because he didn't make a single change at all. That game was there for the taking. We could have scored. Like, I heard what he said about Cheeto after the game too. I'm quoting because I have it opened right next to me. He said Cheeto was that player. One long ball, he could have made the difference. In 3 minutes, what one long ball are we going to play when we didn't even have the ball in those 3 minutes, by the way. What one long ball are we going to play to Cheeto and he's going to score? I get what you're trying to say. Why don't you bring him on in the 70th minute? Also, you're a manager who I have praised for making proactive changes throughout a game. 55th minute, you usually make like 3 to 4 changes, or sometimes late around the 70th minute, sometimes late even around the 80th to 90th minute, you've brought on players. So why was it different any this time? It's either I'm fully convinced they're throwing away this league right now. Like they don't care about it. Genuinely. Why would he not want to? We've just come through injuries with Ahmad, with Mainu. You're risking more of those injuries by not playing these guys. Casemiro hasn't played 90 minutes. He just played a whole 90 minutes. Could have easily pulled a muscle. And we would have been without another midfielder as well. Euro was ill. Another player I think alongside with him, maybe it was Ericsson. He was ill as well. Like it was, who else were we going to play? And I've seen it a lot of times in the past where we have played youngsters in certain games and they have turned up. Whether their career has turned up or not, that's a whole different question. But we have turned up in games. When we played a young Marcus Rashford against Arsenal when they were gunning for the title, we beat them 3-2 at Old Trafford. We had I think Varela playing as a right back in that game, and he had an assist for Rashford's goal. That was a completely different scenario as well. We were much higher in the league. We're 15th right now. What are we meant to do? We are 15th. Our board is not signing players. Our manager, like Eddie said, is continuing to play people like Bruno Fernandes, like Rasmus Højlund. Mikel Moreno, who we are joking and clowning right now as a striker, has equaled Rasmus Højlund's tally in one game as a striker. And he's not even a striker. Like, we used to argue about goals for Rasmus Højlund. Now we argue about how many times can he keep the ball. For a striker.
True.
That we spent 75 million on.
Sheik.
And we said was the next Holland.
Yeah, but Sheik, don't mean to cut you, but Sheik. But we were told, me and Flawless, by the actual Man United fans, because we were told we weren't. You know, King isn't a Man United fan, and Flawless isn't a Man United fan, and I'm not a Man United fan, okay? I was told by a lot of people that Rasmus Højlund was going to score 17 goals this season. I was told that Bruno Fernandes would contribute to 15 goals this season. Marcus Rashford would have 18 goals this season. Garnacho would have 10 goals this season. Like, I was told that this team that were lucky to finish 9th. This is what I'm saying. 15th is not doesn't mean anything to me. Last season we should have never finished 9th.
The beast, Murray. I'm sorry.
All right. Yeah, shout.
Tony,
I'm not going to even say big up Tony because I just realized that Tony. Go away, Tony. Anyway,
big up,
we were lucky to finish 9th last season. These guys finished a negative goal difference. Group staged out the Champions League by Copenhagen. Now, Sheik, does that surprise you that this same bunch of players are 15? Does that actually shock you? They lost to Copenhagen. They lost to Galatasaray. They got not literally group staged out the Champions League. Negative goal difference for 4 straight months. Ended the season on negative goal difference. And if not for the teams below us in 10th, 11th, and 12th, going on a 2-game losing streak, we should have ended last season in 13th.
Yeah.
Does it think about that? So we should have finished last season in 13th place on a negative goal difference. So why does it shock you? It shouldn't shock anybody that we're 15th. Mans wanted to tell me that I hate the players because I have an agenda. Well, my agenda right now is 15th in the Premier League on a negative 7 goal difference. So I want to know about the agenda sheet, because what pissed me off yesterday, Garnacho missing did not piss me off yesterday. What pissed me off was the fact that I was watching Xerxes get hounded for him and Højlund, for Garnacho and Højlund doing foolishness. Xerxes should have walked off that pitch yesterday with 3 assists. Yes, his header, he should have done better with his header, but he should have been on 3 assists at that point. 3. Yeah?
He was one of our
3 assists.
better players for sure. He was
Big
definitely.
up Madison in the chat. Yeah, we was more clear of that than 8th, but I understand your overall point. The reason why I expected more is not because of the players, my manager. I was saying this on back again, and I'll say it again here. Don't rate the club. You lot know this. Don't rate the vast majority of these players. Ownership can't stand that hierarchy. The one thing I do rate is the manager. So I hold him to a higher standard, and he should be performing better. And Eddie said it, just being on bullshit. That's why I blamed him for the Garnacho miss. I ain't blame Garnacho for that. Garnacho puts ball over bar. We've seen this before. We've
And what
How
he did
seen
many
with Drogu,
times? You know he's
what he
missed
times.
did
like
with Drogu, what
We've
he
seen
did to
with
Drogu.
Dorgu, again, the fact that he ignored Dorgu so many times, I didn't realize that until people like yourself and others
Yep.
had said it, because I'm used
bro,
to
he was
him.
overlapping the
He
whole
ignored,
time. Dorgu
I'm
was
fam, he
used to him.
overlapping the
ignored.
whole
But
time.
you know what it is, Sheik? I'm just used to him making the wrong decision.
Yes.
So him not passing Dorgu the overlap, I don't even class as a mistake, even though it is a mistake. You know why? Because that is
Because
him.
that's
When someone shows you
Garnacho.
who they are, believe you. It's like having a bird and it goes
What
outdoors
was
and flies, and you blame the bird.
his answer? 16 overlaps, and Garnacho passed him the ball twice.
Yeah,
16
it's-
overlaps, and he passed him the ball twice. 16 overlaps, and he passed him the ball twice. This is the Garnacho that everybody was doing revisionism on. See, already these fan bases were this fan base is already out here talking about doing revisionism on Ten Hag. Like, excuse me, well, we wouldn't have been 15th with Ten Hag. You're right. We would have been 18th with Ten Hag. We wouldn't have been 15th with Ten Hag. Do you think Ten Hag goes to Anfield and win and draw? No. Do you think he knocks Arsenal out the FA Cup? No.
No, no.
The games we lost are the games that Ten Hag lost already. Like Crystal Palace. Like, excuse me, what did Ten Hag do to Crystal Palace this season? You're trying to bring up the this game he lost to Spurs.
True.
All right, he lost to Spurs. I need you guys to understand this. We wouldn't have been 15th with Ten Hag. Yeah, we would have been 18th. We would have been battling out with Leicester City in for a relegation spot. Because let's not forget, we were already closer to 18th than we were 9th with Ten Hag. We were closer to 18th than we were 9th with Eric Ten Hag. But everybody tried to say, oh, if we had 6 wins, maybe we would have caught up Chelsea. 6 wins would have barely taken you above Brighton. Not even Brentford, Brighton. Everybody doing revisionism now on fucking Ten Hag. Do you see this? This is what Sheik. You want everybody have all right to be angry at Almarim. I will never say you don't have any right to be angry at him. Criticize him because that's what I agree with it. But you want to know what I want, Sheik? I want every single fucking thing to burn. I want the Z's of the fan base. The Marcel's of the fan base. I want it all to burn. I don't want all of them to burn with it. We're in this mess and you glorified it. You glorified it. Yeah? You championed this fuckery. Bruno's on 300K. It took Bruno Fernandes 59 Premier League games to hit 14 assists. Salah's on 14 assists right now. It took Bruno Fernandes an entire season, and this season, to register 14 Premier League assists. That fucker is on 300K. That fucker right there is on 300K. I was told he was better than Pogba. Man United is playing him in the role of Pogba, and he's playing worse than fucking Fellaini. Literally. Bruno right now is literally underperforming and fucking Fellaini. That's a literal stat. Bruno playing in as an 8 is below fucking Fellaini. 300K that guy is on. 300 fucking K.
He's big
Garnacho.
money.
Please remember, Dan Ashworth and Eric Ten Hag wanted to get rid of not only Amad Diallo, but Jadon Sancho as well. Because they deemed Amad Diallo, Garnacho better than Amad Diallo and Jadon Sancho. Right now, Garnacho hasn't done anything for Man United in 15 games. But Manchester United fans want to laugh at Sancho for not doing anything in 11. Garnacho is 0 in 15. 0 in 15, mind you. And you want to laugh at Jadon Sancho. Rasmus Højlund has 2 goals in 9 months. Mikel Moreno right now, that's a fucking centre-back, literally has 2 goals. Yeah? Rasmus Højlund has 2 goals in 9 months. And I was told, give him a chance. He has potential. Everybody that said that Rasmus Højlund has potential, they see potential in Rasmus Højlund, you need to go to Specsavers. That's what you need to do. I know blind people that wouldn't make that fucking assumption. But I am not angry at this. As I said to you before, I don't like 98% of these fucking
Yeah, no,
players.
you don't like the players. Yeah,
It's
you're
upsetting. When you look at the game, everybody was saying, why doesn't Diego Delo play on the right? Well, Diego Delo played on the right, and you saw the goal that he ruined. All right? You saw what happens when Diego Delo play on the right. Why did he play Jogo on the right instead of playing him on the left? When he played on the right beside of Amad Diallo, who kept giving him the ball? Amad Diallo. Who kept feeding him on the overlap? Amad Diallo. When Jogo was on the right, who the fuck passed him the ball? Casemiro. That's it. Literally, the person that passed to Drogo the most on the left was Casemiro, not Rasmus Højlund, not Xerxes. I don't mean Xerxes, not Garnacho, not freaking Maguire. Casemiro was the one that kept picking out fucking Jogo the most out of any Man United player that was on the left. You want to know? And this is it right here, Sheik. This is it. The manager is to blame. Yes. I will never tell you that. Why didn't he bring on Obi? You want to know why? Because he knows. That manager probably can look at it and say, listen to me. You fuckers wanted to keep Garnacho. I told you to get rid of him. Okay. You believe he can do something? Let me see what he can do now. What did he do in 90 minutes? What did he do in 90 minutes? Diego Delo played 90 minutes and didn't have one successful fucking crop. 90 minutes on the right hand side, and he's right fucking footed. And not one time did he put in an actual good fucking crop. But everybody kept going at the manager. Why did he play Dogo on the right instead of playing him on the left? Now you fucking know. Yeah? Now you fucking know. I don't want no revisionism from this fan base, Sheik. I
Yeah,
want no
man,
fucking
that's crazy.
second chances, Sheik. You see, the kids, this isn't their mess. This isn't their mess. When Arteta was at Arsenal and he played Smith Rowe, Martinelli, Saka, and what's that other and 14. Because troops keep calling him 14, me don't even remember him name. So I just call him 14. Nketiah, yeah, Nketiah. He played that team because he realized, listen, we don't have any options, so we're playing the kids. Arsenal were not in that position because of their players. Arsenal were in that position because of their board. So Arteta had to use the players now to try and fix the board's fuck ups. Where we are right now is not because of the kids. Bruno Fernandes is on 300k and Bruno Fernandes hasn't done fucking shit in 5 weeks. 300k. Yeah, but if he was black and French, it literally would have been different. No, if he was black and French, it would have been way different.
Yeah,
all right, 300k he's on. When everybody was saying, "Oh, why doesn't Casemiro play?" Well, we watched Casemiro play yesterday. Casemiro was our best midfielder. We want to know what you all started to see from Casemiro on that pitch. Casemiro's lack of intensity. Yeah, him getting completely isolated now. Jogu's on the left. Jogu isn't inverting to help Casemiro in the midfield when Bruno Fernandes is fucking off doing his own shit.
Yeah, facts. He vacated the area.
Okay, so
himself.
He watching it now. Yeah, so watching all of this now, Sheik, it's upsetting. It's fucking Spurs. You guys lost the Spurs, Sheik. We'd lose the Plymouth. If Man United was to play Montpellier, right?
That is so true. I was saying that. I'm happy we didn't draw Plymouth in the FA Cup. Yo, it would have been peak.
Montpellier is literally bottom of League One right now on 15 points. If this team was to play Montpellier right now, they'd get battered. Savernier is 39 years old, and I'm telling you, I would literally watch him body our entire midfield. And he's literally playing right now on a fucking knee injury.
Yeah.
If we played Montpellier right now, we'd lose. We'd lose. I don't trust these players because when I'm blaming the manager, I have to say this. If the players are good and the system is shit, it's the manager's fault. If the players are shit and the system is good, it's the players' fault. Yeah? If the players are shit, the system is good, but the players can't play the system, did the manager sign these players? Yes, it's the manager's fault. Why I'm not looking at Almarim like that is, you know these players are shit. Yes, you do. Why not play the youth? You wanna know why? You put us in this mess. When he came here, who was in the team that put us in this mess? Garnacho was in this team. You're a part of the mess. Bruno's a part of this mess. There is no escaping it. Why does he keep playing these players? Bruno's on 300 fucking K,
Yeah,
bro.
that's
I
that's
need you
ignorance.
to take us out of 15.
And that's ignorance on his part because you
No,
just like it's
it
not gonna
is
happen.
You're
ignorance,
just gonna
flawless.
die on that hill if you
Yeah,
It's
continue
like
to keep playing
ignorance.
them.
It
like
Man.
is.
drop man. Because I've seen you drop Ganacho. You dropped
Fam,
him from
I
the squad and he's
want.
been playing for it was like 4 games. You didn't
Yep,
start.
I
4 or
want
5
to
games.
see right now. I want to see, because you guys are making me know that Ericsson was sick. I thought he was injured as well, because I know
Yeah,
they had him
yeah,
on
He
the
was
injury
ill.
list.
Yeah,
So
he
he's
was
ill.
ill.
Okay.
Mhm.
So here's what I want to see. So you see the next game that we're playing, is it Everton?
yes,
Everton
no way. Yeah.
away.
Ah,
Yeah.
boy. I
Fuck.
want to see Xerxes and Obi. I want to see those two. I want to see those two play. All right? I want to see those two play. If it's anything I want to see, let me see those two. Put Kone beside a Casemiro. At this point, brother, there's nothing else we're getting from this season. I
That's
want,
what I'm
each time it's
saying.
road to
Like
40 points right now. It's
that
road
was
to 40 points.
that was my thinking yesterday too. Is like in that game specifically too. What more did we have to lose? We're 1-0 down in that game, and it looked like we were going to be the next team to score as well with some of the chances that we were creating. That's why I was just kind of
See,
like, what more did we have to lose?
Before Spurs scored, we should have been 2-0 up.
Yeah, 100%. That's what I'm saying. And I also want to say this, like, I'm not manager out, like, at all. I'm not saying that I'm Ruben Amorim out in any way, shape, or form. My energy is definitely more towards these players, especially yesterday for the chances that they missed. However, when we always talk about controllables that the manager, certain controllables that he has, some of the things that Kaneki mentioned, there are controllables like playing certain players, playing people in certain positions, all those type of things. And I think he's had, I would say this, I think he's had ample amount of time to be able to figure out at least where everyone's do best. Like he's tried so many different things. He's tried Menu in the 9, false 9. He's tried he had Anthony playing as a wing back. He tried Ahmad as a wing back and then he put Ahmad in the 10. He's tried Mazraoui as a wing back. He's played Mazraoui as a center back. He's tried so many different things. And it's like certain times, as of late also, I've been backing him this whole time. And the only criticism that I have given him in towards of anything, it's not been about his system. It's not been about this idea that he has or the way that we've been playing. It's solely honestly just been about the lineups of who he's selecting. And that's really it. And that's the only criticism that I've given him. But sometimes for me, and because we know how bad these players are and we see it week in, week out, it's frustrating. It honestly is frustrating at times that you're the one person, like Flawless said, I don't trust this board. I don't trust these players. I do trust you, or I want to trust you. But it's more so it's difficult because you're the one person that I can actually look towards and be like, okay, maybe you do want the best for this club and you're trying to make something happen and you're trying to be on a more positive mindset, but things are just not working out. And that's why it's kind of frustrating.
Let me go to King. Yo, King, what are you telling me, man? First, let me go to King. Let me hear King's
Big up everyone, man. Big up everyone on the panel, man. Yeah, like obviously it wasn't great in the Tottenham game, but hey, like obviously I was told when I was on Northside channel when he did a watch along for the United and Leicester game, I was told that I was a weirdo and I was a wrong'un because I was going in on Garnacho because apparently Garnacho is supposed to be a game changer according to some United fans. Well, we clearly saw in the Tottenham game he wasn't a game changer. We've clearly seen for so many games that he's not a game changer. We clearly see yet again. Garnacho goes back to himself. You know what I'm saying? Man was gassing up his Leicester performance, bro. Bro, in the Leicester game, he was just an option out wide. That's all he was. He didn't do anything special. He was just an option out wide, and obviously he was direct. He was direct, and all he was doing is just flashing the ball across. That's all he was doing. So, you know what I'm saying. So all the Garnacho fans, like, where are you at now? Because you had all this energy against Leicester. You wanted to be chatting against Leicester, but all of a sudden now, since he had another shit game, you want to go all silent. Cool. Yeah, we clearly know. We clearly know about Bruno Fernandes. We clearly know about this guy. I've said it so many times about this guy. You know what I'm saying? I've said it so many times. Obviously, Hideki is right. Obviously, I understand his stance on the players. I understand Hideki's stance on the players, and I understand everyone's stance on the players because I am fed up of a lot of these players. But like Flawless said, if if you play stupid games, you get stupid cards or something like that. You know what I'm saying? You get stupid cards. You know what I'm saying? And this is the thing. And I was on Saeed fan call-in show like a few days ago. Yeah, Saeed did a fan call-in show, and Saeed titled it. Saying, "Oh, are we being too harsh on Ruben Amorim?" And the thing is that I said on the show that United fans are not logical. United fans are not thinking logically. And what I meant by that is because some United fans are saying, "Oh, Ruben Amorim out. It's all on Amorim. All on Amorim. Get him out. Get him out." But some United fans on the other side are also saying, "Oh, if you criticize Ruben Amorim, that means you're Ruben Amorim out." You know what I'm saying? You know what you know what I'm trying to say. So it's like just because Ruben Amorim has come in, that doesn't mean we can't criticize him. Of course, we can criticize him. You know, you know what I'm saying. When he when he fucks up, yeah, we go into criticize him. You know what I'm saying? Like in the Tottenham game, he should have brought on Obi Martin earlier. Again, he started Dallo. Again, he started Bruno. Again, it didn't work. Did not work. Everybody has to be held accountable. The players have to be held accountable. Ruben Amorim has to be held accountable, and INEOS have to be held accountable. Everybody, not one person. Everybody has to be accountable. Yeah, and this is the thing. And we all know how bad these players are. I don't need to explain how bad these players are because we all know how bad these players are. But at the same time, we have to criticize Amorim because we've seen other teams like Everton, for example. David Moyes coming into Everton and he's getting the best out the players that he's already got. You know what I'm saying? We've seen David Moyes come in at Everton and get the best out of what he's got, right? And also, I said this on Saeed channel as well on the fan call-in show, right? Everyone remembers Unai Emery and Eddie Howe at Newcastle. Eddie Howe and Unai Emery came at a similar time than Ruben Amorim came at United. Eddie Howe.
Okay, yeah, I get what you're saying.
Yeah. They both came in at the same time. Newcastle United, I remember, they was 19th before they appointed Eddie Howe. Mid-season, they were 19th. You know where Newcastle finished? They finished 11th. They finished 11th in mid-season. After 12 games, obviously they got rid of Steve Bruce and brought Eddie Howe in. Yeah, and people will say, "Oh, Newcastle's not Man United." That's not the point. That is not the point. The point is Amorim should be doing better with the team that he's got assembled. Lex said it perfectly also on the Yardman show. There's this obsession of every manager needs 10 players. Every manager needs 10 or 8 players, 10 of his own players to make it work. No, like, bro, you're a coach, bro. You know what? You know what I'm saying. There's this obsession about this manager needs this profile. This manager needs that profile. Yeah. Like I said, another example. Unai Emery, when he came into Aston Villa was 17th on 9 points, and Steven Gerrard got sacked after 12 games, and they was on 9 points. Yeah, 9 points, and they were 17th. Yeah, two wins and 3 draws and 6 defeats. Yeah, and when Unai Emery came in after Steven Gerrard, when Aston Villa was 17th, you know where Aston Villa finished? They finished 7th in the Conference League. You know what I'm saying? So we can speak about how bad these players are and how toxic Manchester United is. Unai Emery and Eddie Howe came into two clubs at the time what was very toxic, but they've shown at a short space of time that they can get the best out of the players that they've already got. And that's not me saying that Eddie Howe, Unai Emery are better coaches than Ruben Amorim. That's not me saying Unai Emery and Eddie Howe are better than Ruben Amorim. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that they have shown that they don't need 10 of their own players. Eddie Howe didn't need 10 of his own players to get Newcastle from 19th to 11th. Unai Emery didn't need all of his own players to get him to 17th to 7th.
Yeah.
Yes. This is the main point. But when I say this, there are going to be a lot of United fans saying, "Oh, you want Ruben Amorim out? You want Ruben Amorim out?" No, like all I'm saying is he needs to do better, bro. Like, bro, he needs to do better. And this is another thing that United fans say, "Oh, when Ten Hag got sacked, we were 12." But bro, the point is, it doesn't matter about the position. Yes, we were 12 when we sat Eric Ten Hag, but we was only 5 points off the top 4. We was only 5 points off the top 4. Now I think we are like 17 points or something behind the top 4. So, you get what I'm trying to say?
Yes.
Yeah, we are 17. I think we are like 15 to like 17 points behind the top 4, and we like 12 points off 8th. Yeah, and Rand said this also perfectly. We brought in Ruben Amorim because we thought Ruben Amorim was going to do better in the Premier League than Eric Ten Hag in the league in terms of league position. In terms of league position, not style of play, in terms of league position, we thought Ruben Amorim was going to do better than Eric Ten Hag.
Do you think, though, hold up, though, because I don't know if I agree with that.
Go on, Eddie.
I'm going to be real. I don't know if I agree with that.
Go on.
I'm just asking, do you think it's because they saw what Ten Hag was doing, understood that it's not going to get any better than this, so we might as well cut the cord now and start the rebuild? That's all I'm asking. Yeah, because I think if Eric Ten Hag is in the picture, they don't get rid of the amount of players that they got rid of.
What you mean in the summer, or you mean just got in January?
Like how we had that whole clear up of Anthony, Malacia.
Oh, you mean after he's gone? Yeah. I still think they expected an upturn in results.
Yeah.
I expected an upturn in results. But who knows with this board? But
I think it was a little bit of like panic, but also at the same time, you went for a manager who is currently unbeaten in the season, thinking that okay, things will definitely be better because we're going for a manager who's right now currently unbeaten in the season with Sporting in the Champions League, just had beaten Man City 4-1 in the Champions League as well. I think that's a little bit of what they went for too, in terms of things would be better than like not league position, but maybe more so results, and then we can get to something, because if that wasn't their priority, I think they would have just stayed with Ruud van Nistelrooy. But they it's the way that they scrambled, and they kind of forced Ruben Amorim to make a decision, because they told him that it's now or never. It's now or never. And there's now or never. Exactly. It's like it's now or never. So there I think is where the panic settings kind of come into, because they're scared that Ruben Amorim could go. But there were talks of him potentially being the successor to Pep Guardiola at Manchester City. Yes. And maybe at the end of the season, maybe he could be at a different club, and they were scared of that. And I think that's where he was linked with Bayern. Yeah, they kind of made that panic setting decision, but it's also at the fact that they identified someone who was having a good season so far, who they thought could potentially come in right away and make an impact to this team, which obviously it hasn't happened. But also at the same time, I think they've shifted priorities too, because in between they've shifted priorities to getting rid of those players that we are talking about, rather than actually bringing someone in to help him out and to try to like better this situation, because they've seen how all this have turned out. They've been here obviously this whole time. They're the people who made this hiring decision, of course, and they've watched how all of this stuff has played out, and they've looked at January and they've been like, okay, no, our priority is still to get some of these players who, you know, cut the wage bill, cut the costs, all those type of things, which I get that aspect as well, because these are business people who are coming into a club trying to do the business part of it as well to a certain extent. But I think that it's a mix of panic in terms of the Ruben Amorim decision. It's a mix of panic, but it's also they thought that maybe they thought that it would be, things would be better with Ruben Amorim because he's a better manager. Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. That's what I also said, Sheik, on Saeed channel, and I've said it on this channel as well. Like in me criticizing Amorim doesn't mean Amorim out. But what I'm saying is that we all knew as well INEOS fucked up by not sacking Ten Hag earlier. We all know INEOS fucked up by appointing Dan Ashworth and not getting rid of Ten Hag. And they also got rid of Jadon Sancho and did not replace him. You get what I'm trying to say? And they brought in Amorim in, and they decided to go for Amorim in mid-season. That's where INEOS have messed up, and they also Amorim and INEOS messed up in the January transfer window, because yes, it's all good at getting rid of Anthony and getting rid of Malacia because Amorim wasn't really playing them, but you did not replace them. You did not replace them. And this and this is the thing. This is why I said everybody has to be held accountable. Everybody, INEOS, the players, and the manager. No one escapes criticism. No one escapes it. No one escapes criticism. It's not good enough, bro. Like the fact and reality is, we was 5 points. We were 5 points. Yeah. When Amorim came in, 5 points off the top four, and now we're like 15 to 17 points off the top four.
Chelsea. We're 14 points off Chelsea.
It's not good enough.
To answer your question, Eddie, yeah, I think they would have expected an upturn in results.
No, they did. But what ended up happening?
No, I did.
What happened, as well as King brought up, it is a whole. It's a butterfly effect. It's the whole domino thing, because with Eric Ten Hag, when we're now saying, oh, they got rid of Sancho and they never replaced him. Okay, so let's go further. We didn't replace Fred. We never replaced McTominay. We didn't replace Palestri. We never replaced Van der Beek. We never replaced Zidane Iqbal. We didn't replace Anthony Martial. So just like that, that's 5 players we never replaced. That's 5 players off the bat we did not replace. 5 players that right now, if you look at the team we could really use. Like when we're saying, oh, he should make use of the players. He should make use of players that were already failing before under the other manager. It's completely his fault. I'm not trying to shank responsibility from him. We should have been doing better. Have been doing better. But what made me say I am not going to go at him as hard as everybody else is, we're going into opposition boxes more. Like there's literally a stat that's compared how Amorim is doing right now compared to Ten Hag, and he's literally outperforming Ten Hag right now. It's just that we're not getting the results. He's literally outperforming Ten Hag's stats this season. Yeah, we're just not getting the results. So when I'm looking at that, I'm like, Amorim isn't failing because of the system and its player selection. It's Amorim's daft player selection. But I'm looking at it and I'm saying, I want the youth to play, but I don't want it to be an excuse for the senior players. Maybe you guys can actually see with me this. If Obi plays well, Obi gets the chance and plays well, I don't want it to then be a revisionism of, well, he's playing well, so maybe if we play him beside of Rasmus Højlund, if we play Obi now beside of Garnacho, I don't want it to be an escape for nobody.
The manager.
That's on the manager. The ownership shouldn't be done. If they do that,
Yeah.
that's on them, which they shouldn't do. And if they were
Yeah.
to do that, that would be the wrong decision that eventually catches up with you. So it's not a trust thing. You just have to be like,
Yeah.
expectant. It's expectance because
Yeah,
they do foolishness. But yeah, it's
I've
like
never.
don't make that type of. You can't be that short-sighted to bring in a
Yeah.
youth player. He performs well, and it's like, okay, can these youth players make the senior players who
Yeah.
they've just replaced better? Like, no, we still
Yeah.
need improvements regardless.
Of course we do. Like I've never, like as Sheik said, I've never criticized Amarim on his system.
Yeah, I
I've
haven't
never,
either.
I've
I
never
like what I
ever.
see, to be honest.
I like the system. So when people say, "Oh, he needs to change the system," no. I've criticized Amarim mostly for the players that he is picking. For the players that he is picking, and it's not just picking certain players, playing them in the wrong position, like playing Kobe Mainu in the 8. Like it took him 2 months to figure out Kobe Mainu is not a pivot player. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm trying to say. Like I've criticized Amarim for his misprofiling, not for his system, because I can see in the system that we are keeping the ball a bit better. We obviously, like Hideki said, we have like more touches in the box and them things there. That I've never ever criticized him for that. I just criticize him for the profiling of players, and this is the thing. Like I know how bad these players are, but like I said, I seen Unai Emery and Eddie Howe come into a toxic squad at big clubs, by the way, at big clubs, and they in mid season, and they got a tune out of all the players when did it, obviously when they didn't have all of their players. So this thing about this manager needs this profile or needs this profile. No, your job is to coach. Ruben Amorim, when we got him, he was one of the best young coaches. He was one of the best coaches in football. You get what I'm trying to say? You know what I'm trying to say? Like you shouldn't need all of your profiles to be able to coach. You should not be able to need all your profiles. You should be able to coach players, to coach certain players of scraps. You get what I'm trying to say? That's what you should be able to do.
I hear that. I hear that.
Yeah,
I
I
hear
hear
that.
that, man. It's
I
like
hear
me
that.
being on stream with Ryan and making it actual stream half decent. I hear you. You know what I'm saying? Go on, carry on. As you
I'm
will.
just at the end of the day.
Made that boy a star. You know what I'm saying? What are you talking about? Fucking genius.
Yo, I'm
That
about
man's
to
a
jump
star.
Made that
You know what
boy
I'm
a
saying?
star.
That man's a star. Yo, you see the platforms he's on? He's on some of the
Yeah,
biggest.
yeah.
He is on some of the biggest platforms in this space, and he's an absolute scrub. What are we talking about here?
Yeah.
Look,
Name
I'll
a
say,
big platform he's
I
not
think
been mentioned on. Big Six, Troops, Saeed, Rants. The list goes
Yeah,
on. What are we
yeah.
talking about here? Chat. What are we doing? And I'm going
crazy.
OTT to make a point, but we move. Scrub.
I seriously believe. I
Certified.
seriously
Sorry, go on,
believe
Eddie.
Go ahead, Eddie.
My bad.
we would see the brilliance of this manager
Yeah.
if he was hired by another club.
Yes.
Like if another club
Possible.
had hired
Definitely.
him to overtake what they had going on, it'd look better.
I think it's because they put him in a better position, in a
That's
better
all I'm
situation.
saying. That's
Yeah,
all.
they
Yeah.
put him in a
I-
better
I-
situation.
Yeah,
That's all
and you're
I-
not wrong.
yeah.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong, Eddie. You're not wrong, by the way, by saying that, because most possibilities, yes, like a high possibility, yes, he would obviously do better in a team that is less toxic than United has been for years and years and years.
And
So obviously, I hear that.
even on the talent thing,
Mm.
when we were talking yesterday, Flawless, after the game,
Mm.
I wanted to make it very clear that I thought what was going on at United was a culmination of everything that we've been doing to this point.
Agreed. I agree with that.
We have created
Yeah.
a culture or a fake culture that enables players who don't deserve it, that enables a fan base who don't know what they want, and it consistently breeds a level of mediocrity that somehow, some way,
Yes.
allows us to think that we deserve better than what we're getting right now because we're united. Because in all actuality, let's just tell the truth. Those players who are there now don't deserve the adulation and praise of wearing the badge the same way the players who actually won trophies used to get it.
Yeah.
They don't perform like a big club, so we shouldn't treat y'all like you're part of a big club.
True.
But these fans come in this way. They've told Bruno he's a great player. They've said Garnacho, give him time. I don't care what anybody says.
Rasmus Højlund as well. Yeah.
I swear that the club has to be monitoring this. They have to be monitoring how many people pay for kits to be specialized with these players' names on it. And that influences their decisions to keep or sell these players. Because again, we have too much evidence of watching Bruno Fernandes play football to see that he's not good enough. And yet still, he's the captain.
Twice.
He's on all the selling points.
Mm-hmm.
He's on every picture you could think of when it comes to Manchester United. You actually have people thinking that Bruno's inclusion a couple years ago with the bad players that we had was a testament to him because he made us a title challenging side.
Title challenging.
But Eddie, you're asking fans.
King, 1 second as well. And to Jez, you said, so can I say this about Ange? Because people, when I say it, people say I'm wrong. I don't think you are. And he says, it seems to me, myself included, we overrate that. If this continues, this is spot on, Jez. If this continues, and he
overrated him in the aspect of we thought results would be more.
I can only say that because I even with these players, I expect him to do better than Ten Hag. And he's doing worse. So when I say overrated in regards to you are falling short of the standards I set for you because I
so you don't think Ten Hag would have had us close to 15?
Yes, potentially. But you're doing worse. When you mirror them side by side, your record is currently worse.
I 100% hear that. And
so don't get misunderstood. Could Ten Hag have a 16th or 17th? Absolutely. But the fact, Eddie, that it's a conversation is the problem within it.
Is a problem, yes.
I rate the manager. Honestly, I rate before you go, Eddie. I rate the manager. That's why I'm being super critical. Me and Ash had this conversation yesterday when I asked him
100%.
because we mentioned Everton and the bounce Everton have had under Moyes, and I said, so what are we saying here that Moyes is a better manager than Amorim? And Ash was like, in kind of saying, yeah. He was like, with context. In no context do I think Moyes is anywhere near Amorim as a manager. So therefore, I said the fact that Amorim, the fact that Moyes can go to Everton and do what he's done, you can match Moyes. Yes, it's different levels, it's different players, and it's different expectations. But I think that highly of you.
Yes.
Yeah. 100%.
But go on.
But also, can I also say one thing? At the same time, I agree with you that, like, yes, it should be better results than, of course, what Ten Hag has had. But at the same time, I'm not going to say that it's overrating him because this isn't the final product of Ruben Amorim. This is not the best ideal situation for him as well. He's struggling right now, definitely, to get the better out of these players. But we've been known that it's you can't get anything out of these players. They showed it under last season under a different system, under a different manager, and a different setup. That it was kind of the similar thing. And then the same thing this right now as well. And I'm totally with you. I think he could be doing a better job, specifically when it comes to selections. He could be helping himself a lot much more than what he's showing right now. But at the same time, too, I'm not going to be like, close this chapter on Ruben Amorim because this is not the Ruben Amorim I think is the final product of him. I want to see him with his own players, with his right profiles. And that's why I hope that he's there next year at the end of by the end of the season. And I hope it doesn't turn into a situation where he does get sacked. But if he does get sacked, a little bit is him to blame because he didn't make anything better for himself. He didn't get the better results that we expected him to get, like, to your point, better than Ten Hag did. And that's really where I'm at. I feel like this isn't the final product of him, and I want to see him get his players. And I think I'd have a lot more energy if we're in the same rut of form going into next season when he's had his players, because then there's no excuses for him at all, to be honest. But then at the same time, he has to get results. He has to. Right now, at this situation, you're at Manchester United Football Club, the bright lights, as we like to call it. You have to get results.
And that's
he said it himself.
I'm only saying if this carries on.
Yeah.
If this carries on and he goes out like this, so let's say he brings in his players and this
Yeah.
continues,
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
when
this
I'll be
carries on.
like, all right,
Yeah.
we overrate you. That's why I'm not sat here saying I'm hammering him out.
No.
Yeah, same.
But
And
people
I'm
here,
not. I'm not. I'm not hammering out. I'm not hammering out. But also, what Sheik just said there, Ruben Amorim said that himself. Ruben Amorim said that himself before he came in. He said the only way that I'm going to get time is
Mhm.
yes, we can have a style of play and stuff. Yes, the style of play is important. But he said the only way that I'm going to get time is is if I get results. That's the only way that he's going to be given time. He said that himself. He said that himself. And this is why, and I'm not having a go at Amorim because I don't rate him as a manager. I think Ruben Amorim is one of the best coaches. He was in my top three who I wanted. He was in the top three who I wanted. You get what I'm trying to say? And I think he is a clear better coach than Ten Hag, Eddie Howe, and David Moyes and Unai Emery. I think he's better than all of these coaches. But the fact is that obviously not Ten Hag, but the other managers that I mentioned have shown that they can get the best out of their players that they've already got. You get what I'm trying to say? This is why I hold Amorim to those high standards because I know he can do better than this. And he has said this himself. He has said that he's not just going to get time for the sake of it. He said that he has to get results with the style of play. And he was obviously very aware about the financial situation of what Manchester United are in. You get what I'm trying to say? He was very aware that he wasn't going to get much players in January.
Yes, let
Like
me get
that.
to a couple of things as well.
Mm,
Let me get to a couple of these super chats. Pick up Destroyer.
yeah.
As I told you months ago, Flawless, Amorim made it. Ten Hag was 4 points from top four, and Amorim got brought in to rescue top four. It's been dreadful under him. Blind faith won't get us anywhere. Amorim out. Firstly, big up for the super chat,
Yeah.
Destroyer. I appreciate it in regards to it. You did mention this month ago. To me, Amorim was not brought in to rescue top four. Maybe
Same,
that
I
was
don't
in
think
your
that was
eyes.
the case either.
Maybe the board, let's say hypothetically you're correct. That because this side is not a top four side. However, I do believe I was looking at him and I was looking at top six, top eight.
Yes.
I was looking at that. So I will say in that sense, in regards to it, yes, he was. Has it been dreadful under him? Absolutely. No blind
Yes.
faith, though. I'm saying do better.
Do better. Yes.
There's no blind faith. But if you're hammering him out, cool. But no, I'm not hammering him out. And
No.
there's zero blind faith from me with this manager. I don't do blind faith. I'm not doing blind faith. I'm looking at
Yeah.
things. And even though it's been bad under him and has got worse, there's certain things that I've seen him do, certain results, and I go, okay. And
Okay.
even if he was flying, here's on the flip side, if he was
Yeah.
flying and we was in top four or we was fifth, I wouldn't be saying, oh, hail him,
Yeah.
give him the keys, we're
Yeah.
going to win the league next season, because I know how football is and how quickly things can turn around.
Yeah.
So just because it's going completely wrong, that's why I'm not him out. And the same way, if it was going completely well, I wouldn't be like, you know what, we got Fergie. That's not my. Sorry, go on. Oh yeah, one second before you go. Sorry to keep cutting you off. I just got to the second super chat. Big up to you as well. Big up to the final whistle. You know what I'm saying? Big up the final whistle. Says Amorim is giving me Potter at Chelsea vibes. You see when people say things like this, I hear it. I understand why people are critiquing him heavily, as I am, as is King, as is Eddie, as is Sheik, to the point where people have asked me, are you Amorim out or you sound no. I'm holding the manager accountable. Sorry, go on, Sheik. Final whistle. Big up for the super chat.
Accountable.
Big up Z as well. Yeah, go on.
Yeah, holding everybody accountable. And this is the thing. If Amorim was obviously using the youth more as well, like me and Flawless have been saying, since he first got the job that he needs to use the youth. We said that after the first few games, use the youth players because they can't be any worse than some of these players, because the young players follow the instructions. You get what I'm trying to say? They can follow in instructions. And the thing is that when you are high in the table and when you are doing well in the league, you will get praise. If Amorim had us a bit higher in the league and not far away from top four, and he won us, obviously we don't know that if he's going to win a trophy yet or not. But if he did that, then we would be giving him all the praise. we be giving him all the praise. So when players play well, they get praise. When players don't do well, they get criticized, and that's the same thing with managers. That's the same thing with managers, and that's the same thing with the board. When they are doing well, they will get all the praise. When they are doing bad, they will get all the criticism, people. And this is what I'm saying. This is what I meant. And I understand people's frustration, and I understand.
See how crazy
Uh,
it is?
uh,
Me and Z are on the
yeah,
same page. This is the maddest part. This is how you know we fucked up. Because me and Z are on the same page with this. I'm fully with this Z. Yes, I'm hammering in, but he has to do better. We need results. Can't keep losing. And to destroy
yeah,
you mentioned, yeah, let's not say top 4. European football, I hear you. He's failed at that metric. But I expected more from him, and I'm still expecting more from him because I've seen what you've done prior, and I've seen what you've at certain points. I've seen what you've done here. It's not all been bad, even though
no,
overall you can criticize it. It's not all been bad. The album might be bad, but it doesn't mean every track is terrible. Understand what I'm saying? It's a 20-track
yes,
album. We all got albums. You may buy an album, listen to an album, stream or whatever the case. You know what? Do you like the Project King? Nah, I don't like the project, but you know track 4 and track 6 file. That's what it is. That's something there. Sorry, go on, King. Carry on. Big up H as well. Go on.
that's
Carry on.
what it is. That's what it is. Like that's what it is. And like this is the thing. I'm not Ruben Amorim out. I'm just holding him accountable because I know he can do better than this. And I know that he hasn't tried everything as possible because I know there's still certain things that he can do, like play players in the right position, use the youth more. You get what I'm trying to say? And I've seen him tweak stuff, and I've gave him credit for for the results against Arsenal, Liverpool. Like I've given him credit in like against Ipswich as well. I gave him credit. So you know what I'm saying. So like this is what I mean about United fans. United fans. A lot of United fans can't be balanced. It has to be Ruben Amorim out. He's crap. This and that. No, no. You get what I'm trying to say. That's going over the top. I think, in my opinion. But also, what is going over the top is that when people are saying, "Oh, if you criticize Ruben Amorim, that means you're Amorim out." No, we're just holding him accountable. It's accountability, people. You get what I'm trying to say?
Let's just see what it is.
Go on, Eddie.
Because I'm a victim of it too. So many people want this manager to be the one to get us out of this bullshit cycle we've been in.
Yeah.
So many people do.
Mm-hmm.
And the mere idea of a conversation on Amarin for some people, it triggers PTSD. It really does. I'm included, right? Because like I said, I'll be here, of course. You, my dogs, all y'all, my brothers in this shit. I got a lot of love for all y'all. I'll be here to conversate and this and that. But as to having another manager fiasco online, I don't have the patience for it. Because not only will I be having to deal with the illogical arguments that people will be bringing to the table, I'll have to deal with what honestly, what I said in the past. I'll have to live up to that because I can't set a standard. Like I said, I can't set a certain principle and then fucking change it because I like the manager a certain way.
Big up Leon as well.
Shout out my dog Leon. It is what it is at this point. I'm telling y'all, we don't want to be back in those conversations. That's why people are so apprehensive about the critiques of this manager. But unfortunately, people, the critiques are very much warranted.
Absolutely.
I'm sorry. And it's bad because one of the best things one of my coaches growing up ever told me was that as a coach, I either coach something or I allow it. If Garnacho's not picking out the runs that Dorgu's making, it's on me as the coach to instill that into him. Like, look, you better pick him out when he makes that effort. Not every time, but at least enough to keep the defenders honest. Bruno, if I tell you stay in this one area, manage this one location, and you don't do that, I'm allowing you to do that. As a manager, you have so much influence on the game. Of course, it comes down to individual actions made by the players. But that does not leave you from responsibility of what we're seeing out there. Unfortunately, for a lot of people, myself included, it just sucks that we've gotten to the space where we're just so tired of this shit, and we understand how divisive it gets and how tiresome it gets, these conversations.
Yeah.
That any semblance is gonna like just cause people like, yo, chill. This first time, let him get his players. Brother, you're the manager. That squad you have right there, those are your players.
Just manage.
Yeah,
you don't get to
coach,
pick
bro.
and choose when you sub one in. Yeah, I'm subbing him out because he's not my player. When they ask you at the press conference, how come Sutton didn't play? Oh, because he's not my player. No, that shit don't work. He gotta fix it, man. It sucks. It really does suck that we're in a lower league tally than what we were with Ten Hag. But I'm making that decision 10 times out of 10. You Ten Hag fuck boys.
Oh yeah,
I'd
absolutely.
fire him twice if I could.
Oh, don't get misunderstood. I'm with you on that, Eddie. Like this whole thing of like, let's say Amorim turns out not to be the guy, and he goes this season, next season. It was still the correct decision to get rid of Ten Hag. Same way, it was still the correct decision to get rid of Oli and Mourinho and Van Gaal and everybody else because they was all not good enough. But people like to be like, you going to the
not Van Gaal, but the rest.
Yo, we scored 48 league goals in the season. You get sacked.
We were dry at sea that season.
Yeah,
we were literally 0-0 against like every team. I remember that season.
Did you see that? We scored 48 league goals in the season.
Watch how we talk about my manager.
Got knocked out by Liverpool in the Europa League. Got knocked out by Liverpool at Old Trafford in the Europa League.
Yeah, but I'm looking at if that would have played out, if I'm being real. That's my opinion. I'm looking at
I'm with you.
I would have let that play another season.
I know my people see my
he was the best player.
Brazilian demon out there in Real Betis doing his thing. They called me crazy. I know you see it in 4K. La Liga offers that people 4K, 8K. You can get the clear pixelation of my dog out there scoring goals. But I'm gonna let y'all cook.
I want to say one thing as well. I feel like slowly, this is just my opinion. I think along like this whole Ruben Amorim time, all these months that he's been here, I think there's been like a shift of priorities at the club, and I think it's come from the people above, because I think just how this whole January transfer window kind of played out, I think it became evident that they're looking on to just get rid of things more so than trying to, I guess, better the situation now, thinking more about the future, about getting rid of players like Rashford, getting rid of players like Antony, sending them out on loan, looking to sell them on. They even listened to Garnacho offers, considered those, to be honest, where they were, I think they should have accepted the first offer, how much ever it was, 40, 50, whatever. This is just me because I don't like the player at all. Yeah. But they persisted around. I mean, they kind of like beat around the bush with that whole thing of selling Garnacho or not. Should we do it yet or anything like that? But I think their priorities have shifted more towards these business decisions, these financial decisions, and having all those things done right now rather than focusing on the manager. I think they've kind of, maybe I feel like they've told him that the league is finished, which is crazy though, because they shouldn't be telling a manager this. I don't think any hierarchy should be saying these type of things, but maybe they've kind of indicated in a way that the Premier League is done. We're not going to go on a run of form where Europe is going to be in sight, be it the Europa League, even potentially Conference League or Champions League, obviously out of the picture. I don't know what the whole idea is with the domestic trophies, whether they think that we can go far or not, or they've also given up on those. But I think it's more so like they're looking into the summer, which is why then I'd have much, much more energy for them, because if you, with how this whole January transfer window played out and you didn't sign anyone, I actually expect to see an overall of players. I expect to see at least, I expect to see deals done before like preseason and stuff even starts. I want these guys to be here by the time preseason starts, because then there's no excuse for you guys to be like, oh, what were we waiting for? We're waiting for an overhaul in the summer. We're looking to spend money in the summer. You're going to get most of these deals done by then. Rashford, whether the Villa trigger his buy option or not, that's 40 million. Anthony.
So after that performance this weekend, brother,
that's it. No, but actually he had a crazy free kick which was off the bar, which they ended up scoring, by the way.
Good, man.
Rashford.
Yeah, hey,
That's what I'm saying. So Anthony, like Eddie, your guy Anthony, the guy that we're praising, he's having good performances at Betis. The price is just going up. It's not like the price is just going up and up. And shout out to Anthony.
Man like Venom, you
He's
know.
helping
See
us
man with the
out.
black hair moving mad. Man like
Hey,
Venom.
Eddie, man,
Real
the price
Betis.
of the bricks going up, man.
Hey, Eddie, he's helping us out. That's how I look at it. Is that he's doing it for himself, man.
He went to the barber and got that Beijing. He got that Beijing. He got
Man
that
said
all black out.
Beijing.
He got that all black out. He got that all black out. The highlight is gone. He went to the African brother. The African brother sat him in that chair, put that Beijing 24/7, bro. Said, don't move. Don't move.
I think maybe priorities have shifted along the way, but it's looking a lot like INEOS they're looking at the summer and they're like, okay, I think they're waiting to give him a better situation and better condition to go buy players for him in the summer. And then they're going to judge based off of that. Because I genuinely don't think they sack him. With how the energy is at the club, they're kind of just moving on with like, it's okay. We're the ones who are losing our shit. We're the ones like, this is unacceptable for us to be in 15th in the Premier League because we are Manchester United Football Club. But they're the ones who are kind of just chilling. The house is burning down and they're just sitting on the couch like, oh,
you know what they are? They're the person,
all that.
Have you seen the Minding My Business meme where the house is on fire and there's the girl in the
Yeah. That's them. That's them. That's Sir Jim Ratcliffe right there in a nutshell.
Yeah, bro. I said it before. A big up Flawless for doing it on Ransom channel and back again. Like I said, INEOS expect Man United to scam trophies. I told man Manchester United a Ponzi scheme FC, Western Holdings FC. I told man like last week or a couple of weeks when I was on this channel, Man United is a Ponzi scheme, bruv. Because Man United been scamming trophy after trophy after trophy, and that's what INEOS want Abraham to do is to do it yet again. You know what I mean? I don't know, part 6 or part 7, bro, or part 8 or something, bro. I'm scamming trophies, bro.
It's 2020 from 2014 to 2025. As bad as we've been, we've won 5 trophies in 9 years. Proper scumbaggery. 5 trophies in 9 years.
Yeah, it's just like, and
that's crazy. That's how much we've been That's how much we've been scamming. Because you got certain teams who, you know what I'm saying, who got 0 trophies in 5 years, and we got 5 in 9.
Yeah.
Oh, and these INEOS guys, they're here to stay. They just got here. This is the craziest part too, is that they just got here. This is their first season. They're here to stay. They ain't going anywhere anytime soon. So we have to rely on these people now to make these decisions and look at the decisions that they've made so far. I've never heard this. Imagine, Flawless, you get hired. Like, imagine you guys get hired at a job and you've just heard going into this job. You're looking at the job and you're like, this is terrible. Bottom of, like, let's say it's a sales job. Bottom of, like, sales every single year. They haven't had some sort of achievement at all. And then you come in, they hire you. They're paying you big money. And they're like, yeah, Flawless, you need to show up and turn things around. By the way, the same people who've been bottom in sales, you have to work with them. Those are your people. You can't hire anyone. And also, Flawless, by the end of the season, you need to be at least 5th in sales. Like, you have to. Like, you have to figure shit out. You just have to. So it's one of those type of things. And it's one of those type of things. It's one of those type of things, but it's like, and it's also in terms of this situation, it's like you're looking at the person that they're hired, and you actually can think that maybe things could be better, and then you're kind of questioning that person as well, because how haven't things gone better? They haven't gotten better at all, because there's some expertise that you brought in with you. There's some skill that you brought in with you to that job, and that just hasn't worked out in this sense either. So it's like everything, bro. I've said this from time and time again. These guys have just come in, and all they've been doing is just rectifying their own mistakes that they've made since they've come in. And we're just on a rectification thing. We're literally on a rectification thing.
You know what, man?
Yeah.
I'm not
we're literally just rectifying all the mistakes that they've made in the first place. It's crazy.
Rectify. You know what? That's a good quote. But Leon, thoughts, actually, your thoughts on what we're talking about, and then your thoughts on the game as well. Because we ain't spoken a minute, so I don't even know.
Game. I don't rush for nothing.
Smart guy.
Me,
Smart guy, man.
I was in the Italian restaurant, bro, chilling. Do you know what I mean?
Smart guy, man.
I was
Smart
at my
guy.
sponsor's restaurant with my run club team, innit, chilling, man. We're kicking
Love
back
that,
some
man.
pizza.
Let's go.
My brethren was watching it. We're having
Yeah,
a meeting about-
running club. Yeah,
Running club. Yeah, Bruno
running
was
club.
with you. Yeah, he was there too. He showed up late. He probably did
Eddie,
show
we'll
up.
talk off air.
Bruno
You know
was
the
there,
deal.
right?
No, I'm joking.
Garnacho was there, right?
Garnacho was there. These guys are all there at the running club, right?
Yeah,
Rasmus
that's what I'm saying.
Højlund.
We got. Listen, do you know who's linked? Do you know who's we're in Thingy's hands. Dancer, you know Kevin Dancer. He's from where we do the club, innit? He's one of the most famous people. Yeah, he went to the school where all them. But anyway, yeah, I didn't rush at the game. My brethren was saying it was 1-0. I was like, and it was like 60, 70 minutes and we're still keeping an eye on it. I was like, no, that'll run out. We'll probably lose. I'm not really worried about INEOS too tough because I just feel like I've figured them out by now. Yeah, I think I figured them out. They're on the cheap thing. So they're on the cheap thing. So they've only going to do they're going to do a very similar model to the Glazers, in my opinion, where what they're going to do, right? Yeah, is they're going to do the minimum to keep the fans happy, and fans like us will never be happy with that. But they're going to do like top 4 with the cheapest squad. So be prepared for that. That's what they're going to do. That's what they're going to do. Yeah. Every now and then they're going to buy an exciting target.
A shirt sales guy who can at least do that.
I don't even think that. I think every now and then, because of the way they're scouting, they are going to end up scouting good players, and one of those players is going to go on to.
Because you said cheap. Do you think it necessarily means a lack of quality then?
No, I think
loan deals. I mean more of like loan deals.
Not loan deals. You can go look at who have we been linked with?
Like how you talking about like how Brighton do the thing, like kind of
basically, but a little bit better than that. Yeah, because you can go into the market, buy a kid that's 20 mil, he plays well. The football market's crazy right now. He's worth 60. They might even shut him off for 60 and then reinvest another 20 mil. Do you know what I mean? But they're not gonna. If you look at what they're doing, Axon, they've clearly. I think they should be doing one thing with another thing. I think they should be clearing out the squad while giving us something to patch it up with. Yeah, and they haven't done the patching up part. Yeah. They're clearly going down the route of clear out the whole squad. I wouldn't even be surprised in the summer if they don't give us everything that we need and they bring in sort of let 4 go, let 4 come in, but it's better profile players and we still struggle a lot next season. I don't know, make top 8, then they go again top 6. Do you know what I mean? Because they can long out the way that they spend money by doing that. Do you know what I'm saying? Man United fans are so desperate right now that it's like we're in the club right at the end and we're just so desperate. I'll do anything to take a thing home. Do you know what I mean? I'll do anything. So it's like we're so desperate that we'll be like, oh my God, progress top 6. But us man know if you assembled a good squad, we'd end up probably challenging for the title the way the league fluctuates. If you got it right over a 2-3 year period, let's be real.
Absolutely.
It's not what it used to be.
Over 2-3 years, you can do that 100%.
If Forest are where they are now, you could do it with some consistency.
You know what the thing is, though, Leon? I completely agree with you, and it's my concern is that these guys.
I don't agree with it, by the way. I don't agree with it.
No. In terms of what you were saying, in terms of like their model of what they're trying to go with, or you figured them out. I agree with you in that aspect that they're on that cheap thing where they're trying to clear out and all that type of stuff, right? A little bit of why my energy is towards the manager too is because I know these guys are, in my opinion, certain decisions that they've made, they're daft. They've made terrible decisions. Who's to say that they make a terrible decision by sacking him this season if results continue to go a certain way? If we're 17th, 18th, just a couple points above relegation by the time of March or April, you don't think they're going to be thinking about sacking him?
My problem with the manager
how much worse could they get? Because it's based on this. It's based on how they've made decisions so far. There's no clear thing of what they actually want to do.
Exactly.
Because everything that they've come in and made and the decision that they've made so far hasn't been a clear front foot of how they vision the club later. It's just more so on panic settings. Oh, we keep a manager. Should we sack him? Should we keep him? Should we hire a manager right away, or do we hire a manager at
basically, for me, it's quite simple, yeah. If they sack him because the heat will be on them, they're propaganda FC by a huge mile, because they're going to save. They're going to do the short-term thing to say, look what we did. We did what you want. Love us. Yeah, I don't buy any of it. Yeah. If they keep him, it's kind of the less of two evils. They're cheap if they keep him. Yeah. Because Ruben Amorim right now, yeah, I like the way Ruben Amorim talks, but actions speak louder than words. Yeah. And unfortunately for him, I don't really understand what he's doing sometimes. Like, do I feel as though in his head he has a sheet of 11 players every week and he probably writes 4 down that he's happy with, and he's like, fucking hell, what am I going to do with the other 7? Of course I believe that. Is the squad so bare thin that you have to make the right decisions at the right time sometimes for us to get a result? Yes. Does it lack in profiles? But there's just 3 or 4 things at the same time. Like if he was doing everything right by one thing, if he was doing everything right and he was playing Garnacho left wing, and we were like, okay, cool, I can see what he's doing, blah blah blah. Yeah.
You mean
even when Klopp,
when
Klopp came into Liverpool, you could clearly see that the profiles that were missing, and he was making the right decisions, and he was.
Yeah.
But like Ruben Amorim, you've got no excuse not to take risks right now because we're so low. You've got like what actually happens if you take risk? Nothing happens.
Nothing. We're 15th, bro. Like there's no risk.
That's why
you know what I'm saying.
Right now, if you go, okay, I've got maybe it's worth us going through the squad quickly before you wrap up. But like if you go, I don't know, I've got my 4 or 5 players.
And then I go,
let's do it. And then you go, right, Sheik, you go, right, out of my starting lineup, I'm really annoyed at my 10s, my number 6, and I'm really annoyed at, I'm trying to think of another position. It's probably them ones mainly, at number 6, number 8, number 10, whatever, yeah? Just go in the youth. Just go play the youth. Because the worst comes to the worst, yeah? You play the youth, doesn't work, bring Eriksen on, he fills in. You've got guys like Eriksen, Casemiro, you've got certain players in the squad that are not going to be the ultimate profile that you want, but they will deliver if you need them to. They 100% will. 100%.
So, Collier as well. Collier as well. He's another one. You know what I'm saying? Like he's another one. But
one thing for me that's so annoying is like I always see clips of him on the touchline during games, him getting angry at like Dallo or him getting pissed off at certain players. But the annoying part is that you continue to select them. Like you show that there's like he's oftentimes like I've seen so many clips against the Spurs game. He was like livid on the touchline majority of the game for a lot of the decisions. When Garnacho missed that chance, he was livid, absolutely livid. And it's just like certain times you're looking at those chances. You keep selecting these players at the end of the day, and I completely agree with you. It's why? What is there to lose at this situation? We're not in a top 4 race where there's an unknown aspect towards some of these youngsters, and you're just putting them in because we have an injury crisis, and you're scared that our top 4 race might derail. There's none of those type of situations.
And
that
also,
we're in
Sheik
right
as
now.
well. Yeah, it's not like you can see a little bit of rhythm, so you go, okay, cool. He had a bad couple of weeks, but then he's had a good couple of weeks. There's nothing.
These guys are just consistently bad.
Yeah, there's nothing there.
You see the same thing every single week. Decision making. It's always the same things.
Let's go through the squad. So obviously keepers. I know people moan and stuff like that. I'm not that bad with that. Go down to defenders. Defenders is probably the
easiest. Get rid of Onana though. Get Onana gone.
I know. But I'm just saying that like he's got.
I don't mind with Bindier rest of the season at all.
Yeah, but you've got other choices there. Do you know what I mean? So your back 3 is pretty easy to pick. Your back 3 out of all these players here is pretty easy in it.
I go Mazdele Euro. That's me. I would
Mazdele Euro.
Yeah, same. I go with Mazdele Euro. Same.
Well, how does that work? Maz on the left hand side.
You could go Maz right-sided centre back, Euro left-sided centre back, or you could go Euro right-sided centre back, and Maz.
Delict play central. Okay. Yeah,
Delict play central. Euro on the right, Mazraoui on the left.
Okay.
I have no issue with that whatsoever.
Your wing backs. Are we in adamant that we're going to go Dorgu and Ahmad? Is that the best two?
Yeah.
Is that what we're
doing?
Oh,
we say. I'll go with that. I was going to say in regards to who's fit. But yeah, everyone fit. Yeah, I'll go Dorgu one side, Ahmad the other. Yes.
Ahmad the other side.
Yes.
And then is this when he's got to do a little bit of tinkering? So he's got 2 midfielders and 2 10s to pick and a 9. 9 for me, Zertsky easy. That's pretty easy for me.
Yes.
So if we go to
Manu has to be one of the 10s.
So what you meant
Manu and Eriksen. Manu and Eriksen as Manu and
Manu's out.
But yeah,
Ahmad's out too. Ahmad's out too.
That's why
Ahmad's out.
Oh, Ahmad's out for the season.
He's out for the season.
Yeah.
Oh hell no! I didn't even know that. My bad.
Yeah. The thing is, you know who I'd play out right. Yeah, you would have played at right wing back. Yo, throw in a Mas. Why not? Play him.
You're gonna have to.
Amas can play on the left. Dogu can play at right wing back, and Amas can play left wing back.
I wouldn't even do that. You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't even do that. I would just play Maz.
Somebody who fucking is a demon on the touchline. Like if the kid got pace, like that's fine. Put him up in there. Like, but
yeah, the thing is as well. Yeah, I know they say it's a specialist position, but a lot of players that end up playing striker and forward positions start wing anyway. So you could just play a youth player. I know it's the key position. You might get beat, but take the risk, man.
Under 21s. Wait 1 second. Where is
Take the risk. Just play some kid.
Yeah. I know who you're on about, Flawless. I forgot his name.
He doesn't even have to be. He doesn't even have to be a right winger if he's a striker, but he's got a little bit tech about him. Just play the.
Yeah, he's got tech. Where is he? He's in.
Fuck it, just play it.
Yeah, isn't he like 17 or something? I'm sure he's like 17, 18 or 17 or something. That young, that Mav, Is he called
Yeah, you know what I'm
Mantaro?
talking about, man. Mantaro, yeah. We just call him
Mantaro, yeah,
Mantaro.
that's it, Mantaro. That's it, yeah.
Yeah, play him. I'd play him at wing back and then play Dorgu on the left. I've seen clips.
So you got Dorgu on the left's fine. Right wing is boy, he's got a
right wing
patch
back.
a little bit there,
I'm playing Mantaro. Yeah, I'm playing that Mantaro guy at right wing back. 100%.
Yeah, he looks good actually. That Mantorial he looks good.
Midfield, who playing central?
You probably what, Collier and Nagate? No?
Yeah, I go Collier.
Yeah, I go with Collier and Nagate. Don't mind.
And then in the defense,
you gotta play Ericsson, man.
Yeah, Ericsson
and Ericsson. Yeah.
Ericsson mainly, it has to be.
Can fuck off from this team. Hoyland can fuck off from this team. Garnacho can fuck off from this team.
Yes.
Didn't you man say Mainu's out though?
Yeah, Mano's out. You know what?
Yeah,
Mano's out. You could go Ericsson.
He's not out for the season though, but he's out for a while. Yeah, he's out.
With him being out, I'd just go Ericsson, Xerxes, and play Cheeto up top.
So let me give you another combination for the wing backs, yeah? Garnacho on the left and Dorgu on the right.
Garnacho, no. Just
you have to patch things in for now.
If you're gonna play him, if Garnacho's gonna play,
he's less damaging that side. Even though
that's his best position. That's his best position in the system. Obviously, I don't rate Garnacho, but that's his best position in the system because obviously he just stays out wide in it. He just stays out wide in it. You get what I'm trying to say.
I still think that there's probably someone in our youth system who's profiled as a wing back who would do a better job than Garnacho being.
Of course. That's
why I'm just like, fuck all that. I don't want Garnacho anywhere near this team, bro.
Anyone would do better than Rasmus Højlund as well.
You could do Dorgu on the left and a Garnacho on the right, or some kid on the right. That'd be better.
Yeah,
just do that, man.
Yeah, because like Cheeto's better than Højlund. I don't need to see like, bro. You know what I mean. Cheeto's better than Højlund, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, you get what I'm trying to say.
You don't play that Mantaro.
I'm kind of sick of managers now, but that's why I don't put my emotion into it anymore because I'm bored like of managers who don't give clear, simple instructions. I watch managers in the league all the time, see the capabilities of a player and the lack of capabilities that a player has, the lack of ability. And they'll just say, when you get the ball, you just run in this area or you just give it here. Like, you can just tell the same players that repeat the same kind of football over and over and over again. Do you know what I mean? Like, you may as well just say to some kid with a bit of pace, just go byline and put it back to like penalty spot, top of the box, or give and go. Do you know what I mean? I want to see the same thing over and over again. I don't want to see stop, track the ball, got to try beat three players, run into traffic. Ugh. That is so.
You don't have to be an elite coach. You don't have to be an elite coach. You get what I'm trying to say. You don't have to do anything special. Just basic, just simple instructions in it. You get what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, definitely. I think one thing for sure is like with this whole Ruben Amorim thing. Actually yesterday I did it. I watched some of the goals that he was like that Sporting were scoring this season, this past season. I looked at just some of their players and just movement wise and how they pick up the ball, how they move the ball around. Night and day difference, by the way. Night and day difference in terms of the profiles, the players. You look at every single player on Sporting when they pick up the ball. These guys are just naturally better than all our players on the ball. Decision making, the IQ, they know who's around, they know where everyone is positioned.
Yeah.
My point is that stuff at Sporting that we've seen is the final product of him making that team, taking 2 to 3 years, seasons, them also getting rid of players. They turned Gyökeres, the striker that he's turned out to be today, was never that type of striker. He was actually someone like Højlund, who used to hold up the ball, who eventually turned into a false nine type, who also can run in behind and just a lethal goal scorer. Now he's improved his goal scoring ability quite a lot. But those are all things that took some time. And it's like, that's why I'm a little bit on Ruben Amorim. It's like, I want to see you get time and I will judge you then like properly when you do get your players, when you do get that time. However, with how daft this board is sometimes and our ownership is sometimes, it's like there's uncertainty around it for sure. It would be stupid. Trust me, it would be so stupid if they do sack him because they've made all these decisions so far. I think they've backed him to a certain extent with some of the decisions that they've made. And it would be so stupid for them to just sack him at the end of the season. But again, they've made so many stupid decisions in the past. So it wouldn't be past us to be like, oh, they could make another one in the future. That's why I'm just kind of like,
There's a balance
Yeah.
because if he wins like one more game, like if he wins like 1 or 2 games for the rest of the season, there's a balance there is an unacceptable level for me where it's
For
like,
sure.
Yeah.
That's why I'm like,
Yeah, of
for
course.
sure, bro.
because
If
remember,
we're sitting just a couple points off relegation in April, then these conversations will definitely
yeah, but
be
it's
there.
almost like
Pressure from our fan
I always
base,
refer back
everything.
to what Flawless says. Like you need if I've seen you do a 10, 15, 20 game sample size and you haven't changed anything or tried to change anything,
Yeah.
I'm not in all that. Because
Right.
that to me is bad traits. Like I'm not.
But, yeah, but
I know you always
yes,
talk about
bad
Flawless. I'm
habits.
not into all that whatsoever.
Man,
Yeah,
No,
bad.
of course there's a base level of understanding for what a Manchester United manager is supposed to do.
Yeah.
And we can't lose
Yeah.
sight of that, because once we do, what's gonna make us different from any of these other like mid-table clubs and bottom tier clubs who don't hold managers accountable and just say we're here for the vibes? Like Spurs, like I don't want to be in the type of situation where you have a segment of this fan base sorry, Flawless, where
Yeah.
as long as they look good, like I don't, my dog, I had to get that one in there.
Yeah.
So for me, it's real simple and plain. Like I understand he's going to have probably till the end of this season, right?
I hope so. Yeah.
But I think he's foolish. And I don't think he believes this, but his actions do suggest that he believes he has a lot of leeway, right? But from what he said in the press conferences that I have to win now, I'm expected to win now.
Yes.
It's just not everything.
Eddie, I think
I have to get results. Yeah.
Eddie, you know what it is? I think that's two different things. I think he has leeway from the board. When he's talking about I have to win now and I need to get results, and he mentioned it in his first press conferences when he was talking, when he's talking to Gary Neville, you lot will be on my case. He's talking about fans and media. Fans and media are on his case right now. Do I think he's under?
But that's why I also think
right
priorities have changed from the club as well. That's why I think along the way priorities have changed from the club, where they've probably told him that this season could be that wash season, where our main priority is to get rid of the wage structure bill, reduce it down, bring the money down so that we can properly back you in the summer. If this conversation took place, then I mean, what more can I honestly say? I don't think they've even done that job well in terms of that. Like you can't, you've made a thin squad even more thinner, and then you're expecting to just overhaul. What overhaul are we going to do? We're not going to sign 8 players.
What I said about money.
We're not going to do this.
You got to look at the players that have gone out. Majority of the wages have been covered.
Yeah,
they probably thought, when you go out, do you know, like if you go like on holiday, and then like you go with that friend who's like the last couple of days they spent the money and they just tighten up. Like that's basically what we're on right now.
Genuinely.
You know what it is? Your brethren's not trying to tell you in it. Like they're just being stiffy. Like, why are you not coming out, bro? And then just they're like, no, I don't. Do you know what I mean? I feel a bit ill.
I'm sick. I'm sick.
Oh, your money.
I don't feel like
you idiot. You know what I mean? So you had a little €300 a night or whatever.
That's what it looks like. That's why it looks so crazy to me that it's a money play. Okay, cool. That's the only way I can see why you would decrease the squad numbers.
Yes.
And not replace them.
Not replace them. Mm-hmm.
That's the only logical explanation. And to be honest, it's on brand from what they were doing when they wanted to get the likes of a Casemiro out, the likes of a Sancho out, the likes of a Rashford out.
Yeah.
When you look at the wage breakdown, those are the highest earners.
Yeah.
And so it aligns with what you've been saying this whole time, Leon, that a lot of these decisions are cost-cutting decisions.
Mm-hmm.
And to attribute that to a club like Manchester United, again, it makes you wonder what's the impetus for it? Like, is it just because you want to get the wages down to rebuild in your own image and likeness, or are the books so bad from what these other management have done while they're here that we have to tear the whole thing down and literally build this thing from the foundation all over again?
Eddie, do you know what it is as well? It's how every business is a risk, and it's what kind of risk that you take in it. And these men are kind of doing the safe risk, so it's like the risk could be 3 loan signings or 2 loan signings could have come in key positions, yeah? We could have got ourselves another wing back, maybe a 10, whatever you guys fancy, whatever, yeah?
Yeah.
Maybe even another striker profile, yeah? And then we could have risked it, made the top 6, yeah? And secured money. They don't want to take that risk. They're like, nah. From what we've seen with these, man, no. So it's sad.
It's not even a crazy risk to take, though. Like, getting in some loan players is not you fully investing in those players. You're going to pay their wages up until the summer.
This is what I'm saying, though, about the brethren that spends the money. He just doesn't want to spend more money. You
is
don't want to dip on the credit card. You don't want to do it.
You know what makes it even worse? With the players they've let go, if you bring in loan players, you're covered anyway.
You're covered anyway.
Loans, bro.
That's loan deals.
So it's kind of like you don't have to say, you don't have to pay no loan fee, for no players. They don't have to be an obligation or option to buy. You are good. So the fact that they just refuse to do so, and people
just straight loan, just
straight loan. People
just straight loans.
Maybe Amarim didn't want players, so like that's idiotic on everyone's part. Then
I also think in hindsight that now puts massive pressure on them in the summer. Because now they have to go and deliver. They have to at least deliver, in my opinion. I mean, let's be honest. We have to deliver them. They need to damn near deliver a whole new squad at this point.
It has to be. It has to be 4 to 5.
It has to be 4 to 5.
And Amarim, and there be pressure on Amarim as well, and there be huge pressure on
the season. I thought about too. When I look at it, it might actually have to be more than 4 to 5 because you took away from the numbers of this squad.
Yes.
Just from a structural standpoint, the numbers that you're giving this manager to use for a full season of the Premier League to the cup ties, you have to rotate.
Yeah.
So you're gonna have to have these deep. Like this is what people. Again, it's so funny to me. Like you people play FIFA all the time. You see one of these players, their levels go to like what is it, that light green that they've had 80% fitness and shit like that. It's common sense. If I'm going to play this many games, if I'm going to have my players in this competition and that competition, I need more than 11 players to count on a day-to-day basis.
Yes.
Because at the drop of a hat, a hamstring can get pulled, a calf muscle can get pulled. And so I need to have the confidence to put you into that position that's now been left open, and everything goes on as is. So at this point, INEOS, like, bro, you gotta do like a Chelsea, where you gotta get fucking creative with how you bring players through this door, or which players you decide to bring up to the ranks, because it's this season is terrible. But if they do not have their shit together, I guarantee you next season will absolutely be worse.
100%.
100%.
Now there's so much expectation. You have to get at least, like you said, I agree. You have to get more than 4 to 5 players.
There's expectation on everyone.
By writing off this season is adding pressure onto yourself.
Much more.
And
unnecessary pressure on the manager too. Unnecessary pressure on the manager.
Two of them have to be players that
we need starters. We need starters. They got to be doggy level or above. They have to.
And they appointed their first. And they appointed their first manager. By the way, this is their first manager appointment. So obviously they're going to be even more pressure because of their first appointment. You get what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
So like, there's also going to be pressure on Amarim as well, because say if INEOS do bring him like four or 5 players, but then most of the players get injured, like, you know what I'm saying, then there's going to be even more pressure, because this is why me and Flawless and others have been saying use the youth, because next season Amarim is not going to have the same excuses. Some of the players are not going to have some of the same excuses, and INEOS are not going to have some of the same excuses. You get what I'm trying to say?
It's like this. It's like if someone tells you that you're meant to build a squad in 2 seasons, you're not going to go into the final transfer window of those 2 seasons and buy 11 players. You're going to buy players throughout the different transfer windows. 2 in this one, 4 in that one, 3 in this one. You get to 11 players by the end of those 2 seasons where you rebuilt. That's just how a club works. What they want to do now is they want to put all the toys in the Prem all of a sudden. And now they're expected to get 4 to 5 players, maybe even more than that. Which, by the way, let me also mention another thing. We haven't gotten rid of all these players either. So they're going to scramble around in the summer to get rid of these players too. Anthony, there's going to be deals coming in for him. Rashford, if Villa do not trigger his buy option, we have to look for other clubs for him. Mason Mount is still at the club. There are so many players. Luke Shaw is still at the club. Lindelof is still at the club. Yo, the last thing, I'll honestly lose my shit if I hear this. The last thing if they tell me in the summer that again their model is getting rid of these players by actually selling them rather than bringing players into the club, I don't know what to say anymore. Genuinely, because they still have to get rid of these players in the summer, so they're going to scramble around with that as well. On top of that, we need at least 6 to 7 players coming into the club. But so now we have a problem of selling them.
This is the thing.
But we also now have a problem of 6 to 7, and that's what happens when you don't properly plan.
I get it.
When you don't
do you know what it is? Do you know what it is?
Before you go, Leon. Before you go, just 1 sec. Just hold the phone. Hey, big up to Saeed for the raid. Big up everyone who's joined over from the raid. Shout out to Saeed.
Big up
Saeed every single time. Run up the likes, hit the subscribe button as well, people. Pay the toll when you enter the city of sarcasm.
It ain't easy, man. It ain't easy. Word to Saeed. It ain't easy, man.
Fucking easy.
The curtain's on the wall. Man.
The curtains are on the wall. Go on.
You have to be sneaky with the propaganda. Like obviously, Sheik's calling it out. He's saying what is not acceptable to him and stuff like that, which is what you need. You need that mindset because they are in a winning position right now. They've set the expectation of so low in the league right now. So if we go get top 10 next season, oh my God, we made top 10. Do you know what I mean? So at the end of the day, that's what it's going to be. Do you know what I mean? So everyone's clutching for like desperate for something. So
some people will accept that. You're right, but they are really
people definitely
equate the goal backwards. If United fans would be gassed with top 8, what would it take in the market to make top 8? It won't take that much. It will take 3-4 players of the right profile, and you can go and do that by doing deals now, even with clubs like Southampton who are letting people like Dibbling go. So you can go get cheap deals. Every deal could be under 30 mil, easy, 15, 20 mil. So really they could outlay £100 million, make the top 8, and everyone would be like, oh, look at the progression and stuff. So that's, I think they're going to go cheap, bro. I think they're genuinely going to go cheap.
I hear it, bro.
I don't even have no issue with them going cheap. It's about the quality.
The quality within that cheapness, yeah.
And get the quality. Don't go cheap just because the player is cheap. Profile, for instance, Dog is cheap. I'm cool with the Dog who's signing.
I'm all right with most of the signings they've made, by the way. With most of the signings, I'm cool with most of the signings they've made.
If they continue to go that way, my problem is the lack of trying to go get more in this window to help out this manager, because Z said it in the chat. We're still in 2 cups. As long shots as we are, this is what we do. Eddie Guerrero settings, lying, cheating, stealing. This is what we
Viva
do.
la raza.
Viva la
raza.
We got 2 championships there, and we trying to cash in that money in the bank. Like that.
Ponzi scheme, bro. Ponzi scheme. Braden and Tariq, bro. You know what I'm saying? Braden and Tariq, bro. You know what I'm saying? That's right.
That's also why I think he's going to. I also think that's why he's going to utilize the youth as well, because he said it after the game yesterday, where he specifically said, "We are in cups. We're still in the FA Cup. We're still in the Europa League," and he's like, "You will see like the youth being played and all those type of things." So we move now. We have to go through this rest of the season without Amad Diallo, who was arguably our best attacking player, our best wing back, our best anything, honestly, at this point.
He's our best player for sure.
Best player, period. If we put him in goal, I bet you he does better than Onana. I bet you he does. Like, he genuinely does. He saves that shit yesterday. I tell you that.
I can probably get some of my benches playing goal play better than Onana. I can get someone up front who plays better than Onana. You plays up front the rest of the side, you know what I mean?
The most damning part for me with this manager, it's like, bruh, a lot of these dudes are playing against you, and you still keep on giving them the confidence to go out there and do that bullshit.
And keep giving them chances and chances and chances again. What chances more do you have to give them? We're 15th in the league because of this squad, and
people thought it's a language barrier. Like, Casemiro speaks Portuguese. The fuck are y'all talking about? He's from Brazil. What are y'all talking about? It's not rocket science. This is maybe because again, but if I can't even see what you're trying to establish, right? Like, we have no identity as a footballing club, like, when it comes just on the pitch. When you look at us, we don't keep possession well. We don't press well, right? We don't score goals well. What are y'all doing out there that every team looks at United and says, this is what you have to look out for when they're playing against them? It was literally, our identity was Ahmad and Inshallah. It was that. That was it. So as the manager, that falls on you. You came in under the idea that you're a culture builder, right? Sporting has struggled for so long. Where else was he? Braga had struggled for so long. You came in, you put in your plans, and they saw the fruition of it.
Yeah.
We're how many
Bro,
months
this
in?
is a manager who's unbeaten all season, and now he's had like 8 defeats in what, like 12 games? Like, it's
12
the flip has been absolutely crazy.
Not just in the Portuguese league too. In the
Champions League, he was
as
unbeaten.
well.
Yo, they were top 5 in the Champions League before he left them. And I know maybe they probably only played like 2 or 3 games, but he played at Manchester City in that game. And this was early when that 1-in-14 stuff or 1-in-12 stuff was going on. It was much, much early then. And he belt to ass 4-1 at Sporting, man. Like, this is what we're talking about. And yeah, man, it's tough. I want to back him, and it's tough. It's hard to see this because I actually like the guy, and I see what he's actually trying to do, and the system is great. Like, there has been massive improvements with how we actually play football. But again, it just goes down to when some of these goals that we concede, whether it's an Onana mistake, whether it's an over-the-top ball that a defender just couldn't track. It's all of those type of things, and it just goes personally down to some of these players.
You know what's crazy too, Sheik?
Yeah.
That because you watch the Sporting team, right?
Yeah.
Specifically the wingbacks.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like, if people watch the wingbacks he played at Sporting and you watch the wingbacks he's playing here, it's night and day.
Night and day. Right. Look at Quenda.
Even the midfield,
17 years old. That guy is just P and P. Not merchant, but he's
think,
like I think
he's a good player. What made him think? Other than probably, again, the guy speaks Portuguese, that Dalot could ever give what you require in that position.
Yeah. But it's not just that, Eddie. It's not just that, Eddie. It's not just the wing backs. He's also seen it with the midfielders. The way that the way that they ping the ball out wide, side to side. Like is the midfielders and the strikers. Like, he's seen it with Gyökeres. Like and like the fact is that Amarim has pointed out all the problems, and he's called these men shit in the nicest way. He's called all of these men shit in the nicest possible way, but he still keeps on persisting.
He's still picking them though.
But he's still picking them. That's my thing. That's the problem. He's still picking them. This is why when you play stupid game, you get stupid cards, bro. Because when you keep on doing the same thing, it's like, bro, it's like you being, bro. It's like you being with a girl. Yeah, you see all the signs of her like cheating on you and stuff, but you still ended up persisting with it. You know what I'm saying? That's what it is. You know what I'm saying? That's what it is. So
I have his team pulled up for the game against Manchester City. Just the front three. He played Trincao, he played Pedro Gonçalves, and then he played Victor Gyökeres. Off just the bat, I can tell you these 3 players are far better than whatever rubbish we put out there in our team. Højlund and Garnacho. Trincao is much better than Garnacho. Yes. Pedro Gonçalves is much better than Garnacho. Victor Gyökeres, don't have to say anything more about him. The guy scores goals for fun. And Højlund can't even keep the ball at his feet. And there's no comparison between both of them. This is what I'm saying. It's like, look at that and they put 4 goals past Manchester City in that game with ease.
I even look at Xerxes' performance yesterday.
Like,
right. I'm watching him play, and again, I'm looking at the manager because I'm like, he honestly has all the capabilities that you're looking for in the striker, in my opinion. And then especially because he adds the dynamic of being able to actually hold up the ball and get others involved. Can you coach this brother to just be aggressive in front of goal? That's what I'm looking at you, Ruben. Can you tell him, like, look, bruh, you can do everything that anybody on the pitch can do. But for this team, what I need you to do is be selfish. I understand you can't make the runs that I want my striker to make, but can you at least put yourself in position to get on the end of a cross, right?
Yeah.
To be in the box, to be aggressive in that kind of respect. I don't even see that from him. What I see, honestly, is a striker just relying on his own individual talents to make something work.
And you just gotta say sometimes you're my guy, man. Just do it. Like you're my guy.
I think what he plans on doing, and this is just based off some reports, because we've heard that he's trying to go for an out and out striker, just a goal scorer, and then a 10 who could play right behind him. I think next season, if we do end up signing a striker, he keeps Xerxes, but he'll use Xerxes as that type of role where he could play alongside a out and out goal scorer, but then he'll also have Xerxes on the pitch playing as one of the 10s. And then let's say if that striker gets injured, he can use Xerxes as that one striker as well. I think he keeps a balance between both of them. One player like Xerxes, who's kind of like a 9.5 that we like to say, a false 9 who, you know, facilitates play and stuff like that. But then he's also going to try to go for an out and out goal scorer, something that our team lacks right now. Højlund is supposed to be that person. He's supposed to be that out and out goal scorer, but he doesn't do nearly enough. He doesn't have the attributes to be that out and out goal scorer, and that's the difference. I see it kind of in terms of how he utilizes the both of them, and oftentimes when he plays both of them as well, I see what he's trying to go for. But the vision is probably that. I think he wants a like a Gyökeres type of player, a poacher, a goal scorer, someone like an Osimhen, someone like a Gyökeres, to pair that alongside a player like Xerxes, because I see what he sees in terms of Xerxes' play. So
he said it. He said it himself. He said it himself, Eddie, as well. I remember after the first game, he said that obviously I think Xerxes came on from the bench against Ipswich, and he said that Xerxes needs to get into the box more. That's what Amorim said. He said Xerxes needs to get into the box more. He said Bruno Fernandes is better behind the ball instead of in front of the ball. Something like that, he said. You get what I'm saying?
Here's my thing, King. And it's unfortunate that I have to do this, but I have to be consistent.
Yeah.
If you're saying it and he's not doing it, who does that fall on?
The manager, of course. The manager, of course. You know what I'm saying?
That's where I'm at. Because I hate doing this, but it's just the facts of the matter. And if for people watching, just take this with you. Managers either coach it or they allow it.
Allow it, yes.
They allow it, yeah.
Either way, you're responsible.
Either way, you're responsible. We can't be out here talking about, oh, I just let Bruno go do whatever the fuck he wants to do. We can't be. Then what is you out here for, bro?
And to add to that, Eddie, that's why I put 95% of the blame on the Spurs defeat on him.
On him, yeah.
I don't blame him for that. That's why I didn't blame Garnacho mission.
Same.
I blamed Amorim
because he got Nacho.
Because we know it. It's not unknown.
I blamed Amorim literally in the watch along when Garnacho missed. I said, "This is a pantomime." I said, "This is your fault. This is on you. You should not be out there because we know what we're getting at." But you lot, before you close out, run up the likes, big up everyone in the chat as well.
Yeah, I gotta head out, follows. Big up to you.
Hey, you
big up Sheik.
Subscribe to Sheik TV. Sheik, let me know what you got.
Subscribe to Sheik, man. Don't be Rasmus Højlund in front of goal.
Appreciate that, King. Appreciate that. Big up to everyone, man. Make sure you guys do run up the like, subscribe. Love to have these conversations all the time, even though our club is in absolute turmoil. But Sheik TV is where you can find me. I will be on Hassam's channel in about 30 minutes for A-listers along with Lewis. They're going to cook me in Chelsea today, so pull up for that. And then after that, we have Mud Brothers today as well, where Spooby, CP, Prime, Don C, who's in the chat, Eli, M. De Niro, everyone's going to be there. So we're going to talk about all the weekend's fixtures and stuff. 10 p.m. UK. 10 p.m. UK. Yeah. So, big up. Take care. Bless, flawless. Thank you for having me on, bro.
Big up, man.
I'll catch you in that chat, Sheik.
Make sure
you lot subscribe to Sheik TV. Literally, the link is in the title. Click the link. It opens up a new tab and go subscribe to Sheik's channel, people. Sheik TV. That's my bro right there, doing great work. Like Mud Brothers, very, very good show, man. Make sure you lot check that out. We're gonna close out here, people, but we're going live on the playback in about 5-10 minutes for the Barcelona Real Vallecano game. So there'll be a watch along for that. But don't forget here, people. The ManDem United podcast available on, well, not just the ManDem United podcast, all the shows you see on the YouTube channel, apart from watch-alongs and the fan calling show, all available on all audio platforms. So Spotify, iTunes, SoundCloud, etc. If you prefer to listen to your podcast audio only, you're out and about, don't want YouTube using up all your data, just go to Spotify, type in Sarcasm City TV, hit the follow button, 5 stars. Same with iTunes, Apple Podcast. You'll find all the shows. And I just mentioned the playback people. Get over there, playback.tv/Sarcasm City TV, www.playback.tv/Sarcasm City TV, or download the Playback app, people, from the App Store and head over there. We will be doing the Barcelona Rayo Vallecano game, but this NBA watch-alongs, Champions League watch-alongs will be over there, Europa League, the boxing this Saturday, because it's better be a Bivol 2. So I'm going to do a watch-along for that on Saturday. That'll be over there. UFC, when there's bouts, that's also over there, as well as the gaming content, people. So get over to the Playback, where we're literally going to be live in about 5 minutes.
Who's Bivol fighting?
Better be it's the rematch. It's better be
Bivol.
Undisputed.
Shit. Oh yeah.
The card's crazy. The card's crazy.
Insane.
With the wide Joseph Parker, it's mad.
Yeah, I'm gonna
Parker
try and
fighting on that one too.
Parker's fighting the Bois.
You seen the card?
Hamza Shiraz. It's game over. Shakur Stevenson.
Oh, I thought that shit was.
Yeah, that's gonna be mad.
Going down this weekend.
It's the best card I've ever seen. It's the best card I've ever seen.
Yeah, the card is absolutely crazy.
That's old boy down there in Saudi putting together.
Yeah.
You already know.
So we'll be live, people.
Make boxing great again, goddamn it! Shout out to Saudis, man.
Yeah, man. Shout out to Chief. Shout out to the Turk, I should say. What was I gonna say? Yeah, people. So we'll be live for that. That'll probably be from not the main event, the bout before, which is the Bois Parker fight. Because obviously there'd be Premier League games, La Liga games all over the weekend. But everything I've mentioned is
early, don't they? Because it's ahead.
The card starts because the main event is said approximately 10:30 p.m. UK time is the main event. So I'll probably go live just before that. But I'll be live. But anyway, check out the schedule, people. Here on the YouTube, check out the schedule. Playback, there's the schedule. So you know all the shows that are indeed coming up. So we're going to be live, like I said, on the Playback in about 5 minutes for that Barcelona Rayo Vallecano game. And then we're back here 10:30 p.m. UK time, Tokyo-ish fan calling show. Obviously, I moved it to 10:30 p.m. So that's open for anybody to call in, people. So it doesn't matter where you're calling in from. Doesn't matter who you support. Call in. Tell me how wrong you think I am. You know what I'm saying? Whatever the case may be, people, feel free to call in, because so many people have so much chest in live stream comments, in comments after shows, and I never see you like pull up the link. I put the link out. Like I said, no matter who you support, where you're calling in from, feel free to call in. You may want to rant about a manager, your team, your manager, players, etc., whatever the case may be. Hey, Blood Diamond, big up to you as well. S. Madison, I see you also. Big up to everyone in the chat as well, though, man. Big up to everyone in the chat. Big up Destroyer for the super chat. Final whistle for the super chat as well. We are going to redirect to Sad, people. We are going to redirect to Sad. Shout out to Sad. Sad's Football Corner. I believe he's talking something Arsenal-related, people. So just put Sarcasm City TV raid in Sad's chat. That's all I need you lot to do. Type Sarcasm City TV raid in Sad's chat. Hit the like button and subscribe over there, because minus being an Arsenal fan, he's a good person, man. But anyway, everyone's not perfect, people. Yes, man, Sad a real one, but you're an Arsenal fan, so you know. Talking about how they were going to win the league this season and all this rubbish. But hey, you know what I'm saying?
We're not all perfect, you know.
Exactly that. But yeah, people, love to everyone that has indeed locked in. ManDem United podcast will be back tomorrow as well. You get it Mondays 4:30 p.m. Tuesdays 4:30 p.m. as well. We're just late because back again went on for so long. That's all, people. But big up to Ab Sports. I'm blessed. Again, Sarcasm City TV raid inside chat, and get over to the Playback where I'll be live literally in about 5 minutes. So love to everyone that's locked in. This has been the ManDem United podcast live on the Sarcasm City TV YouTube. Salute.